Mortgage One Studios, Russ Clark with you. Happy Monday. Greg Wilkinson came in. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Although
it's good to be seen, as they say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because you're up bright and early and
Exactly.
and wide awake. You're not
Yeah,
wide
yeah.
awake. You came in a little hard time waking up. You stayed
Yeah.
up and watched the fights. I'm jealous.
did.
I'm terrible.
did.
That's terrible. Trump's 80th birthday.
Yep.
I didn't watch any of it. I was with Helen last night. We're doing something else, but I like the fights.
Yeah.
I would have, and I would like to have seen that. And I just looked at the recap here. Every one of them was a knockout TKO, except the first one. It says it was a stoppage before round 5. What was that? That was one of the headlines. That was those two that really got into each other personally.
Yeah. Yeah. The fighter, his face was pretty much pummeled.
Oh, he looked like he'd been in a fight.
Yes, it was pretty bad.
That's what happens when you do that.
And
profession.
The doctor almost stopped it after 3. In fact, the doctor was like saying no, and somehow they convinced the ref to let him go.
Yeah, the two wanted to keep going, huh?
Yeah, and then after the 4th round, the corner said that's
where did Trump set? Was he on ringside?
Yes,
he was right there.
It was.
He was in the splash zone.
Yep, he was. He was. I was kind of surprised, that he did his intro from the balcony of the White House and then walked out and was.
I saw a little bit of that with him and
ringside.
Dana White.
Yeah,
and they walked out like they were in the fight.
Yep, and Trump at the very end.
Yeah,
went into center ring with his whole family.
Oh, really?
Barron, Melania was there. Yeah, everybody was there. His daughter.
I think Barron should have had the gloves on and stuff. And I mean, strapping young man.
Yeah.
He's about 6'6".
Yeah, but yeah, it was. It was a pretty amazing event.
It was a beautiful, beautiful setup.
It was pretty much everything Trump said it was going to be. I looked at the crowd outside and they said, 80,000 were outside. It was,
they had a park set up.
Yeah. With huge screens all around. Yeah. It was jam packed
on the White House lawn. It was like 4,300.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure those were well checked out and secure and all that. And the Secret Service was covering them. But still to have Trump ringside and in the ring and all that, I mean, that's kind of amazing. Having it on the White House lawn is probably one of the few places that he should be doing that. I mean, he's a target.
Yeah. Well, and there's precedents that, other presidents have done stuff out on the lawns.
All of them have, buddy. There's always tents up and stuff.
I think
and they say, well, people get paid. People have been paid for all of it, even Easter egg hunts. They pay people to come there and work and do stuff.
Right. But I think this is the first one that Democrats have tried to stop.
Yes, they did. They tried to stop it.
Yep.
And there's been bands that have come. They've paid bands to do stuff, to play. That's just kind of normal.
Yeah.
And how many people have used the Washington or the Lincoln Memorial in that area to do, from Martin Luther King Jr.
Yep.
His famous speech and everything. That's they're public. They're owned by us, the people, including Trump too. He's a people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it's great to have this thing. I mean, I don't think anybody did it. And I think what the Democrats are asserting is they couldn't have made money on this except it was done on the White House lawn or something, that you did it to make money. Yeah. Well, that's a bunch of crap because it cost them much extra. Yeah, to set all that stuff up and do all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, the UFC, it was a free event. You had to have a ticket. But
believe me, if they went anywhere else, they could have charged.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They couldn't charge.
Absolutely. Yeah. They had, I guess 7 matches. And they're all of them were pretty good.
If they had done that somewhere else, they would have made a fortune. They gave up a fortune, and the Dems are saying you did it to make money.
Yeah.
I don't think they know finance.
Yeah. Well, and that's, the fights were on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't on a network channel because there was a few minor cussings by the fighters in there.
Heavens, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the fighters before the match start, they had he went into the middle of the ring and flipped the other fighter off.
You're going to get some of that.
Yeah.
So it's probably best not on regular TV.
Yeah. And I think it was the fighter that got beat up and couldn't get out had to stop it after 4 was the one.
That was the very first round. I mean, it said it was stoppage before round 5. They stopped it.
Yeah.
I mean, once your face turns to hamburger, I mean, they're worried about the
Yeah.
safety of these people too.
Yeah.
They got to do it. Apparently, and I didn't watch it. You tell me, but they broke out in USA a lot of chants for
Yes,
USA,
they did.
USA.
There were probably not half, but I would a little bit less than half of the fighters were from U.S. from the U.S. fight.
But I was just looking at the card here a little bit. But TKO round 2 for the second fight, TKO round 2 or a KO round 2 for third, TKO 2 after 2, first round KO, and second round TKO.
Yeah.
KO.
And of course, Josh Hokett was the one. I guess he's and I don't follow UFC, but of course I did watch it last night because it was amazing. But Josh Hokett was the one that went to center ring in his post game interview and said Michelle Obama is a man.
How does he know that?
I don't know.
I mean, I got some questions for him. I mean,
out of UFC,
what do you use?
Right?
I mean, that has been a thing floating out there for a long time.
Yeah.
I think someone was going to pay a lot of money if they could show Michelle pregnant or something. Yeah. But I think pictures are out there. They may be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get involved in that.
That was funny. It's all over Instagram, I guess, right afterwards. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you do it in front of tens of millions of people, so at least a few hundred.
Yeah. And there was that comedian that used to that died right during a plastic surgery thing that she was like that day. She said Michelle Obama was a man. I forget her name. Joan Rivers.
Oh, Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers. Same thing.
Wow. Yeah.
She died in a routine plastic surgery thing.
Joan did. Yeah.
Right after that, she was like, she'll tell us more. She'll break the news and all that, and she was gone. Yeah. I haven't heard a lot of conspiracy theories on that, but plastic surgery. Be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Joan Rivers said the same thing.
There's almost always side effects from a surgery.
Yeah, but you usually don't die.
Yeah, that's
during surgery on a root. A small deal, but things happen. It rained late a little bit, wasn't it? Started a little late. I thought it was. I saw some rain
they
stuff.
They talked about the rain, but I didn't. From just watching it on TV, couldn't really tell. But they did talk about at the beginning about trying to get it in around the rain, and so. But I don't think. I think they just had that threat right at the beginning, and then I think it was done. Okay. Yeah.
According to this, many of the fighters thanked President Trump for having the courage to put on the spectacle, and majority of the victors jogged ringside to shake hands.
Yes.
So it was all about Trump. That's great.
Well, I think it was all about the fights, but I think 3 of the fighters in their post-game interviews said that Trump is the only one with the balls enough, exact words, balls enough to put on an event like this. Yeah. And they're all very appreciative.
They said courage in my notes here.
Yeah, that's not what they said. They said balls.
That's why it was. That's why it wasn't on regular TV. It was a $60 million event. Now I don't know what 60 million means. That means that's what they paid to do this thing.
Paid to put it on. Yeah.
But I'm sure. Well, I mean, there had to be. I mean, they made money somewhere. I would hope.
Well, even though if you didn't have Paramount Plus, you had to pay for the fight, just like you do every time.
If they were charging admission, these guys would have made fortunes.
Oh,
let's more fortunes. They got money.
Yeah.
Let's talk Gilbert this morning. He's up. Good morning, Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert.
Well, good morning, Greg.
Yeah,
I watched the whole fight. I'm a UFC nut. There's no doubt about it.
Well, good.
And they do swear on UFC fights, which I find it. Anyway, they
don't need to, but yeah, they do.
They don't need to. I know. Yeah. It's the way how you have senators and congressmen cussing.
What?
Yeah, you got them people cussing anyway. So what I'm getting at is one of the reasons I watched it last night. My grandson, Sammy Jr., won tickets. He won a lottery, and he took his brother, and I was trying to see if I could find them.
Good for him.
No. Yeah. When they panned out and showed the people, what an event. I mean, think about it. This UFC event had what 80,000 people there last night.
Yeah, at the park, and there were like 4,300 inside
Yep.
inside the White House, lawn, and then the rest of them in that park. Uh-huh.
But what's really encouraging, my two brothers,
Yeah.
is the park was clean afterwards, and there was no violence, no
What?
buses being burnt down.
Yeah.
There's no buses being burnt down, no towers. There's no towers being torn down, and the street lights are still up.
Okay.
You know,
Edward was there. He said it was delayed because of thunderstorms in the area, but it didn't rain.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It didn't rain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
cooled
they,
off.
they
and all
said that
went
from the beginning. They said that from the very beginning, Russ.
well. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
When-
I didn't pay that much
Started
attention to it. I wasn't watching it. I should have.
Yeah, it'd be better than the way you're describing it out of the computer. You would have watched it. You would have been saying,
Well, I was counting on
"Damn,
you and
guys."
Greg to bring us up to the color of the event, or maybe even
I tell
Edward.
you what, that kid from Stanford that won the championship last night,
Yeah.
well, his opponent took a beating. That guy was tough.
That was that first fight.
No, the last fight.
Oh,
the
that's
championship
the
fight.
last one.
This-
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah,
this was actually
he's
the
from
last fight.
He
Yeah.
was from Stanford.
Oh, okay.
That's Arizona. And it was a kick to the ribs that finished the fight. The beating on the head and the face was, that was bad, but
It's
the
a
knee to the ribs.
it's a brutal sport.
Yeah, and they get paid for that.
Edward tells me it took 80 minutes to come from his house. He lives next to the Pentagon to the
Uh-huh.
80 minutes to get to the White House.
Wow.
He must have walked.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it'd be
I was gonna
faster to
say-
walk. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And there was no violence other than the ring.
Right.
Yeah, keep it in the ring, guys. Keep it in the ring. Yeah.
So that goes to show how Republicans and America can get together, have a great function like that, an enormous.
So
and go home safely.
was Chuck Schumer sitting next to Trump ringside?
He's probably in front of him.
I saw Jim Jordan there, and there were
Yeah.
some others.
Any
but
Democrats at all? They boycott it.
I'm
I'm sure they could have gone, but
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw any.
I'm sure they are. But this was not one of those getting the camera in your
Yeah.
face with the camera.
yeah.
It was totally different. Totally different. It's entertainment at its best.
Yeah.
And the first lady, did she look beautiful or what, Greg?
Yeah, she did. She always does.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah. So Trump never spoke the whole thing.
He didn't.
No, he did not.
He did
It
not
was-
pick up a mic.
It was all about the fighters. Yep.
Yeah,
was.
it was. And they all came to talk
He
to him.
Man, he didn't do the get ready to rumble or anything.
No.
Oh, they did that YMCA though.
Yes.
Oh,
They did
okay. He got up and danced.
Yeah. Yeah. The Marine Corps Band, President's Own. They actually sung and performed all entrance songs for the fighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk about
Edward said there was violence. He said after the fight, his wife hit him for not inviting her. That's pretty
Hey,
sad
Greg,
right there.
Yeah.
how about the vocals?
Yeah. They were
Vocals
really
singing,
good.
They were
Yeah.
awesome. That black lady, I hate to say that, but she
Yeah.
was awesome. She was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was all good. It was all good. All I can say is what an event, and all that was made to make this event. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the big thing is
80-foot ceiling.
Yeah, every fighter, of course, has their song, their entrance
Oh
song.
yeah,
They picked that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the Marine
Yeah.
Corps band, the
Played it?
President's Own, played those. Yeah, they played their
Holy
entrance song
moly!
for every fighter.
The
Yeah.
Yuma Fight League logo. We do that also. All the fighters. The DJ has to cue the
Yeah.
fight song and all that. They
Yeah.
get creative.
But there's
I like it.
14 songs that they had to learn.
I'd rather have the Marine Corps band there. That would be more fun.
They were there.
That's great. I mean,
And
bring them to Yuma. Let them do the fights.
yeah,
here.
and I watched the replay of the press conference for it, and they had Eighth and I. They had the silent drill platoon, and
Oh, were they good or what?
yeah, and there were tens of thousands. There may have been 80,000 people there for the press event on Friday.
Wow. And not a
Yeah.
Democrat in
Yep.
sight, probably.
I don't know. There's probably some UFC fans that are
They
Democrats.
were panning it.
But
The Democrats were upset about it. It was waste of money. Someone's getting paid. We need to sue you.
those guys are paid to say that kind of garbage.
Yeah.
You know that they're 5 seconds of fame.
Elizabeth Warren wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Oh, of course not. Because they didn't think of doing that. And Greg, now I might have missed it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't miss it when they were giving speeches from the presidents. From Roosevelt, Eisenhower,
Oh, right.
Reagan. Did you ever hear anything from Biden's speech?
Oh, well, no.
No. Obama's speech, Clinton's speech, and Trump's speech, Eisenhower, on and on and on. But I did not hear a Biden speech.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did like historical things throughout the whole event.
What,
A couple of those
on the
times I
TV
went-
sets and stuff too. They were about on
well,
big
just-
screens.
Yeah, they did it
Okay.
on everything, and they broadcast on TV like different events through
Uh-huh.
our history for the last 250
Yep.
years. A couple
Oh,
of them
great.
I did go out to get a drink because we were sitting outside
Uh-huh.
under the misters watching. But it was amazing, and those are all very well orchestrated and those types
Yep.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And an 80-foot ceiling in the front of the White House. What? I
Oh,
mean,
It dwarfed the White House. I know it's big.
Yeah.
People complain
know?
about it being a monstrosity.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all down by
I-
now, maybe. Who knows? They're probably
I tell
taking it
you-
down right now.
I tell you what, that light show on just the roof. What a light show, huh, Greg?
yeah. The whole thing was. You'll have to look at some of the pictures.
I'm going to have to
because-
watch the replay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and watch it. I'm sure it's going to be out there.
Oh, I'm sure Paramount Plus
And-
will be replaying it because
And the first lady and the president, 3 hours, Greg? Was it about 3 hours, 3.5 hours worth of entertainment?
I think I turned it on at 5 and I was just letting all kind of the prelims go, and then about I think it was done around 10:30 or something.
Yeah, you're right.
The
You're
fight-
absolutely right.
Fights I think started at 7, something like
Yeah,
that.
Trump apparently left there about 1 a.m. when it was over. He had to get on a plane,
Yeah,
go to the G7, got
that's
business.
right. G7. He's got G7 today.
But
That's
he could sleep on the plane in a bed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that man
you know.
sleep.
Yeah, it's okay for
So-
him. It's all right. He can get that plane ride won't be a problem.
I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. I'm going to segue into this. I was talking to a gentleman, a retired officer in the Marine Corps, 20-some years. He was way up there, Greg. Not as high as you, but he was up there.
Yeah.
And his job was intelligence. And he had to learn about Islam. And he was telling me a lot of stuff. But what fascinated me the most is when he said, in their religion, it's a sin if you lie to a Muslim. If you lie, it's a sin. But it's okay to lie to anybody else but a Muslim in order for Muslims to win.
You can lie to the infidels.
Yeah, and he's saying all the stuff that's going on right now, this peace talk, he goes, hold on to it. Let's see how long it lasts. Because they are encouraged to lie to infidels in order to save Muslims.
well,
So
I'm
anyway, I'm going to go. I got stuff to do today.
All right, buddy.
And we'll-
Thanks for the call.
Thank-
Very good. Mr. Gilbert stayed up and watched it. Edward ended up, he had 2 tickets.
really.
Yeah, he had 2. And I don't know if he was on the White House lawn or out with the 80,000. I have no idea.
Oh, he was not with the 80,000. He was in the
I would, that would be my guess, but I
Yeah.
really don't know. He ended up taking his daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, I was going to say his
Well,
daughter.
No, his
That's what
daughter's.
my
Well,
guess.
I think Madison would have gone. She
Yeah.
had something to do. Daughter's boyfriend, which I found interesting.
How old is Madison?
15.
Okay. All right.
And I
I
thought,
remember when she came
I thought
out.
this is a gutsy young man.
Yeah. I remember when she came out and Nicole did
Yeah.
those classes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She is a wonderful
Had a
lady,
good
and she's really grown into just a nice young lady, smart.
Yeah. I know.
She's on a rowing team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's the one that says,
Oh, is
stroke, whatever,
yeah.
go.
There's
She's
a
the
word-
hammer.
Yeah, there's a word for that in the back. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but
what-
apparently she's
that
sought
position.
after. Apparently they win with her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dad's proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's engaging. Yeah, but I know she's and I told Edward about the boyfriend. I said, well, any boyfriend that liked me, my daughter dumped him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, we had dinner over there
Yeah.
at the restaurant, Texas Roadhouse, and Casey came over to the table. So
Oh, good.
we had a good talk. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah.
I was over at her house on Saturday. There was a birthday party for some. I mean, they got so many kids. It must have been 20 kids in the pool, 28, 30 kids. I don't know. It was just crazy. I was a lifeguard, grandpa lifeguard.
Good for you.
but
And you had to come down after the stress trying to watch all those.
there was
kids.
no stress, man. I'd hold their head underwater. I don't care. Didn't say I was a good one.
Yeah.
I'm bad grandpa. But yeah, as you know, Brad cannot move.
Right.
Really. And he was watching it on camera mostly, but they wheeled him out there after a while. So he was doing real well it was great to sit down and talk to him about it. And said, what? I don't know what I said, but Edward's on the phone, my fact checker. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. How is everyone out there today?
We're doing well. How are
Great.
you, man?
Can't complain. Out for my morning stroll
Now,
around places.
were you in the inside the White House grounds, or were you out with the 80,000?
We were on the White House grounds.
I thought you might be at an opportunity. And did Madison's boyfriend behave himself?
He was very excited about being there and very formal that I had to tell him to take off the damn tie.
Well, good for him, man. He's learning. That's awesome.
He was, I have to say, he's very respectful. He is very knowledgeable about, today's manners.
Wow.
And you can see that his upbringing in him, he is half Puerto Rican, half Italian.
Okay.
And he's got extremely, reservedness about him and very respectful that you would find from in those who in the Puerto Rican culture. And then the Italian side is that he looks you in the eye when he talks to you.
Wow.
Which I personally am very happy to see.
That's a good trait. Yes.
That is a good trade. So hope it, and he's 15 also, 16. What is he? 25?
He is, he just turned 16.
Yeah.
Madison turns 16 in July.
Yeah.
So being there, Edward, what did you think of the event?
I thought it went off rather well. Everybody was very calm. Of course, during the exciting parts, people did get loud, but overall, I thought it was very well produced. And I really think they should have sold tickets, but that's just me.
That's a businessman.
That's the entrepreneur, yeah, businessman.
I was looking around, and Madison's boyfriend's name is Raphael, and he said, "Listen, if everyone in here paid $10, we could potentially wipe up the debt." And I said, "Raphael, maybe we need to talk about what the debt is and how many numbers is a trillion."
Yeah. It's mind
But people were extremely considerate as they were going through the screening process. I mean, I was watching this. We got there a little bit early, and it still took me 80 minutes for our car to pick me up to get me down to the White House, to the barriers.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody was rushing the gates as they opened it up for the cars. I was shocked at this. The police and National Guard were walking around looking almost bored.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
That's
So-
good.
So did you join in the USA chants?
we did when it was going around. Other times is that Madison's voice, Raphael, texted Madison and said that I was looking at my phone a lot, and Madison texted me, "Pay attention."
Wow. You shouldn't have answered that message, Sheldon. I didn't get it. I wasn't looking at my phone. I'm sorry.
And then, you're saying that there was no violence, but there was a lot of violence after the event. When we got home, somebody was slapping me around because she didn't realize I had 2 tickets.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I wouldn't see Jackie as a fight fan, no.
That's exactly what I said. She said, "Why didn't you take me?" And I said, "Because you wouldn't have gone. You could have asked."
Well, she's got a point.
Yeah. There you go. I hear that one every once
But
in a while.
Yeah.
if you know the opinion of what it's going to be, why waste the time?
Mm-hmm. Well, so you don't get slapped around, Edward. I think that it's self-evident.
That is true. We do hold these truths to be self-evident. The woman scorn is oof.
There you go. So you think it was a good kickoff for the celebration, the 250 Freedom 250 thing?
I did. I think they did a really nice job putting
Nope.
it together, and that it wasn't politicized overmatched. Now, of course,
any protest at all?
oh, there were protests around, but I'd have to give it this time. The protesters understood that the National Guard was there.
Yeah.
DC police were there, and Bowser had actually asked the protesters not to interfere with the White House events.
Wow.
I think Bowser's more concerned of him clamping down on, rules in DC, because it only takes a stroke of an executive pen to put DC out back under federal.
Yeah, you just eliminate the mayor altogether.
Yes. So, and then as I sent you the story this morning, though, 86% of DC residents want socialism.
Wow.
They had said that look how well China is doing, and if we could only be as good as China, we'd be a grandstand. We'd be wonderful. There'd be no poverty left in the world. Now, the question is, the definition of poverty in China, the definition of poverty here are completely different.
You got to let some of those guys go live out in the country in China for a while and then call it and say, that's not poverty. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And we forgot about the billion people that were executed, died during the different revolutions there, the Cultural Revolution, the Farming Revolution.
Yeah.
All these people who just disappeared.
One of the things I've been watching is all these Europeans that are coming to the United States and figuring out how great our country is and the choices. You know,
mean for soccer?
Yeah.
Can we call it soccer, Edward?
Soccer.
I do not follow soccer. I follow football.
Somehow I thought you might.
But anyway, they're talking about Buc-ee's and all these things. They're going to Waffle House and at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I think
actually the Croatia team is staying in Crystal City.
Okay.
And we had breakfast with them yesterday because Madison and I were out wandering around, and these guys were your typical tourists walking around Crystal City with their phones, taking pictures of our buildings, which were not that big. And Madison said, "Oh, that's the Croatian team. See their flag?" And one of the guys said, "Yes, it is." And they said, "Do you want to come to breakfast with us?" And Madison looked at him and said, "Listen, how about you come to breakfast with us? Because they were going to do breakfast at the hotel."
Yeah.
And Manny and I love diners, and there's a great little hole in the wall diner that's your typical diner in America that was opened by immigrants from Mongolia.
Okay.
And serve the best American food you'll ever have. So we ordered a van, put the van in and walked into the diner. I was like, "Hey, listen, Milan, can we make a reservation?" "Yeah, sure, take that table there." I said, "I'm going to need that table and 32 other ones."
Good. He was happy.
Good people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're very, very friendly people. So I'm getting a kick out of it. I know the other teams are going to be coming into town shortly as they finish up. I will be out in Seattle on Friday night this coming week for the Australian-American game.
Oh,
I thought you might be attending a few. You hadn't spoken about it, but I just knew you kind of liked the game.
It's the only real game on the planet.
Yeah. Well, you and the rest of the world.
Yeah. My grandson.
As my son says, why do they call American football football when they don't use their feet?
Well, good for Edison, but it's kind of an American tradition. We don't have to make sense. It's fine.
Yeah, my grandson.
Think about it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my grandson is a huge soccer nut. He's
you mean football?
Football, whatever. Football,
we're talking
whatever.
Edward.
Yeah. So anyway, he was as the game was going on when they were winning 4-1. He was standing in front of the TV in the living room, waving a big, huge flag back and forth, cheering. So
wow, he is a fan. Then.
He is. I got a picture. I'll show you afterwards. But it was it was fun watching that.
That's awesome. How long does this match go? It's I don't know. It's many games, isn't it? When's it end?
It goes into mid-July.
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 So we're going to have guests all along.
Well, you got to remember we have guests that are going to be in Mexico, Canada, and the United States.
Yeah.
The Iranian team has requested extra selective service protection. And somebody had asked why, and they said they need to maintain the security of their team members. Well, one of the team members, who is unknown, slipped a note out to the media that said because they're afraid we'll try to jump ship.
Oh, they'll ask for asylum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
it's a
So
it's interesting. So we're providing security only against people going towards them, not if any of them want to come
we're
out.
not trying to contain them. So when is the final match? When is the
If I remember correctly, it's either July 15th or July 17th.
okay, where's it going to be played? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I have to go back and check.
I would have thought you'd had tickets there by now. Or is it going to depend on who's playing? You know.
Well, no, we have tickets to the final game, and of course you don't know who it is because they have to go through all these events. But I only know what's happening. You know, knowing that I'm going to Seattle on Friday is a big adventure for me because I rarely know where I'm going today.
just call your staff; they'll tell you. Yeah.
If somebody just says get in the car, you go. And I'm like, well, do I need clothes? They're there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got you fixed. That's good. That's good.
So, I mean, I think this year is a great year for the United States. Unfortunately, here's my downer pitch is I don't see us hitting another 250 years. I actually don't even see us hitting 50 years.
But they probably said that 100 years ago. So,
no, 100 years ago, America was booming, was on the way up. People of the world was afraid that we were going to become, an empire.
Oh, well, that didn't happen.
As, great democracies, Rome became a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Greece became a dictatorship. But as you talk to some of the younger folks and others, they're looking at socialism and they're saying, look, New York's getting this free and that free. And we need socialism because it's all free. And look, Mondani balanced the budget in New York City.
Oh, come on.
And you tell people he did not balance the budget. The state bailed him out.
Yeah.
And no, that's because they took money from the rich people. I said, okay, let's look at California. The first trillionaire lives where? And people, Texas. California? I said, no, he lives in Texas. Yeah. Oh, but he started in California. I said, yes. 30 years ago, California was a mega giant for starting a business. Now, if you become wealthy in California, you're considered the evil empire.
Yeah.
So people are leaving. At some point, just in New York, people are leaving. And what happens when all the people who are mega rich leave? That leaves the rich. When they start getting taxed, they start taxing the middle class.
Yeah.
And then once the middle class get taxed, businesses shut down. So you can't be middle class, but there's no business to employ people. And that's why I really think the U.S. is going. I spent about 3 weeks running around, meeting with different dictators to ask the question, how do you keep it together? Now, my attorneys tell me I have to verify that I did not meet with anyone who was in violation of U.S. code, sanctions, or
Good.
But I asked the question, how do you stay in power? What's the concept? Yeah. And they explained to me how it all works. And the function, they were very, very willing to tell me that, every now and then you got to take a couple of people out, put a bullet in their head. That calms down the populace.
Right.
And then you start saying, guns are bad. Look, that guy over there died, but you're the one who shot him. Yes, that's why we need to get rid of guns. Well, if you're the one who shot him, you're going to get rid of your guns. No, we need to get to run the way the people's guns, because they could do that to us if we take them off. I was like, oh, makes sense. You limit economic development. Poor and dumb are easier to control than intelligent and wealthy. If you're poor and dumb, you spend your entire life scratching out a living, trying to figure out how to put the next bit of food in your belly and your kid's belly.
Yeah.
If you're allowing people to get, wealthy, now they start asking questions. Why do I have to listen to you? Why are you better than me? That's dangerous. So I wanted to make sure I can explain and teach the kids when the system falls apart how to become that true oligarch we all joke about.
Yeah.
And I do not see a U.S. in 50 years as we see it today.
So how do you think we can reform the education system to start getting out the right messages to the kids as they grow up?
You'll never be able to do that without a true, as long as you have the Democratic Party, which, someone recently told me they had backing that certain groups inside of China are the actual main funders of the anti-data center system, because they want China to control the AI. Whoever controls AI will control the world. And you now have China filing a complaint with the UN about potential data centers in space, because that would be a violation of privacy law. And there won't be. You can go to universities who said, yes, we got rid of DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is gone. So the directors go, oh no, she's now part of our Learn the World program.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the World program? They took the word DEI, taped over it, and said Learn the World program.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah, we're seeing just change the names here in the schools.
Yeah.
Their DEI programs. Yep.
So if you have kindergartners learning that trans is okay, and then if you think it's odd that a boy thinks he can be a girl and you're mentally wrong, the kid grows up in the system. Even if the parents say, no, that's wrong. They're in school for 8 hours a day being pushed these messages that capitalism is evil. There was an article written by Axios on Friday when Musk became a trillionaire that said, are you glad that people are dying to make Musk a millionaire?
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Now, a reporter sent a note to me asking me the same thing. You have blood in your hands. And I used a quote that Jackie says about her African ring, which is the blood washes off.
Yeah.
Where it's not, but these are the concepts. If had Musk remained a liberal mainstay, this would be celebrated of their systems working.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you remember when in America we used to look at the guy on the hill in the big limo with the shiny, nice clothes and say, that's what I want to be? How many movies from the 80s would reference Donald Trump? That's the man.
That's exactly
I want to be Donald Trump.
Work hard, you can be there.
And now what do we have? Oh, Donald Trump's a racist. That's the question. Well, what is he racist about? Tell me one thing that makes him racist. Oh, he just is. But no, you can't just be is. I can't be a great chef all because I say I'm a great chef.
Right.
Tell me that what I make great. Oh, there's so many. All right, pick one. You're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, did you celebrate with Musk at all? Did you guys have champagne or something?
We were down in Dallas for that. There was champagne. There was juices. His assistant knows that I'm on a diet and constantly reminded me, just as my son does, about how many calories and everything I was putting in my mouth.
Wow.
And it was a great thing. Now, you have to remember what did SpaceX did. Yes, Musk became a trillionaire.
Right.
Do you know that there are 18 members of the janitorial staff of SpaceX that became millionaires?
Yeah.
I heard there were a
Because
lot.
they
I
got
didn't know
options.
that. But yeah.
Yes. There's 2,800 people who became millionaires just from SpaceX. And the number is going to grow as the cost of the stock goes up and other people cross the line because some of them took cash over options and they didn't take as many stock. But 2,800 people went from wondering if they're going to be able to afford food tomorrow to I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
And we saw the same thing happen in Facebook.
Yeah. They did.
And this is American engineering.
Yeah, they did that story about the welder that's paid $28 an hour, and now he made $880,000 on that. Yeah,
Did he?
yes, and
Yes.
yeah.
And there's a lot of folks like that, and we see this. And people say, "Oh, well, who makes out on these things? Only the trillionaire does." Okay, yes, Elon made the most, but he put the most at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
People don't realize that he almost went bankrupt 5 times in his life.
Yeah, he talks about that when he comes on the air.
I didn't know he went bankrupt.
Yeah, he was like one launch
Almost.
away on SpaceX.
Oh, I knew he was
being
close to
bankrupt.
it.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for his Starlink because when they have direct phone access for everything, how that's going to push all the other cellular companies to the side. So once you have a satellite phone, yeah.
If you have T-Mobile in a modern phone, you already got access to Starlink.
Yeah, I have an iPhone, and I think I can access it. So
Is it cheaper to access Starlink or
It is $10 a month if you want access.
that's it?
That's it.
Unlimited?
On top of your T-Mobile plan.
Oh, on top of the
it's like an add-in for that. Because the big joke for my family and I, we like Canada a lot.
Yeah.
So we drive through Vermont quite a bit, and there's almost no service in Vermont. And the last time we did it, our system just automatically switched to satellite.
Oh.
And my daughter said, "It's no longer evil to come to Vermont, Dad. There's internet."
Got to have priorities there, man. You got to have them.
So they have this. So there literally is for T-Mobile, there is no dead spots in the United States if you buy onto the plan.
And it's only,
but
and you get that
it
through
will
your,
work for 911.
okay, okay. You get that through your provider?
Yeah, T-Mobile, only T-Mobile,
Only
and
T-Mobile, only them.
only
Okay.
T-Mobile, because they're the ones who struck the deal. They gave, of course, paid into Starlink in order to make this process available.
Uh-huh.
They did a test run. Miss Veronica in Yuma was one of the testers
Oh, wow.
for the satellite system, because she lived in an area that from time to time you can go without service.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. On a 911 call, do they do the geolocation too off of Starlink?
Yes,
Okay.
off of Starlink. And this
Wow.
is, if you don't buy the plan and you need to dial 911, the phone will put it through.
Okay.
So even if you don't buy it, but you wind up
And well,
driving through Vermont and not able to get internet, and you need to dial 911 and tell me where the closest Wi-Fi is, it'll work.
of course, do you need Mobile One for the T-Mobile for the 911, or would any phone work on that?
I think it has to be T-Mobile because
Okay.
of the network communication systems.
I think it's going to help T-Mobile a lot.
It is. I mean, they are now considered the #1 business travel phone
Okay.
around. And of course, Starlink has to get permission from each individual country to use it. Canada gave it, took it away after he became a pro-Trump guy, gave it back at a demand,
Yeah.
and then took it away and gave it back.
Wow. And I know, and that is T-Mobile, not T-Mobile. Someone's asking me.
T-Mobile,
T.
as in the pink company with the big giant T,
Yeah.
owned by Deutsche Telekom. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to have an iPhone too, right?
No.
No, you can have a modern day
Okay.
Samsung or an iPhone as well.
Oh,
Stop
Those
with
work on
that
both
iPhone
systems.
stuff.
my wife's a
She's an iPhone
Samsung.
freak.
No, she's a Samsung freak.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Stay away
Yeah.
from that.
Well, last year Madison asked if she could become a sheep and join the iPhone revolution of the idiots,
Oh man.
and she did, because we were a Samsung family.
Uh-huh.
And then 2 or 3 nights ago, she said to me, "Dad, when can I switch back to Samsung?"
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
I said, "The deal was 2 years on that phone, sweetie."
And
And
then
she goes, "I'm counting the days."
you're not going to let her back in the tribe that quick. Okay. Yeah.
Oh no! Well, hey, you have to deal with your solution. Your solution for her
Yeah.
pick
Yeah.
was to go iPhone.
Live with it.
Yes. And the agreement was, I told T-Mobile I was going to remove my entire company off T-Mobile if you don't give me a free iPhone. They said, okay, we'll give it to you, but in installments, where we'll charge you and then give it back to you in credit, but over 2 years. So that works for me.
It does. Did SpaceX stock do everything you thought it would do? I mean, it plateaued at 160 or something.
165 this morning, last I looked.
Okay.
But on the IPO, yes, it was 160. It jumped all the way up to 175, dropped down to 160, making a 20% run on the money. So it did exactly what it is. The big question is when they report the first financials.
That's right.
It's
a public company.
It's a company that's losing. Yeah, now it's a public company. They have to report their earnings.
Yeah.
And the question will come down is, how do the markets look at this? Now, there are rumors that there are Democratic-based and backed hedge funds that are attempting to short the stock. So they get a high level of shorts, which a lot of times will drive a stock price down just for the fact there's a lot of people trying to short it.
Yeah.
And then if you take in and say, listen, we lost $1 billion, you saw that with Trump's media group. They flew all the way up to 80 and then dropped all the way back down below 10 because they weren't profitable. And SpaceX's valuation is based mostly on the potential for XAI, not truly SpaceX.
Yeah. Didn't they try to do that with Tesla too? Then a bunch of people short it and ended up losing their
They did.
shirts. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they made a little bit of money up front for the first few days. And then the Tesla numbers came out and he beat the numbers. And that sent the stock back up again. And yeah, a lot of people went bankrupt. 6 hedge funds actually had to dissolve.
Yeah.
When will SpaceX have to come out with their numbers? When will they have to put out their first one?
It's next quarter.
Okay, next quarter.
So we're in June, July, August, September. They'll have to report by minimum. They'll have to report by October. The quarter will end. The third quarter will begin, and they'll have to report by October.
Okay.
And that'll tell you. So the question is, this is a potential time period for Anthropic to have gone public, which many people think they might start withdrawing it because of the issues that they're having with Fable, being able to be jailbroke. So they might want to pull back until they can get that confirmed or fixed. It's been an interesting couple of times, but I need to get going
All
because
right,
I've reached my diner, which is very important for me to have breakfast.
Go enjoy yourself. I appreciate the call, Edward.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Cheers.
That was Mr. Edward.
Yeah. He talked for a long time. He has a lot
Yeah,
of
that was
things.
unusual. Very nice of to have his time, and I appreciate him. That's great. I'm going to call Tim Dunn now, though.
Okay.
He's they just finished session.
Yes, they went Sendai like at whatever 0:30 in the morning or something like that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning, Tim. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Russ. How you doing?
Well, I appreciate your time. I got you on the air, and I've got Greg Wilkinson in here with me.
Hey, Tim.
Excellent, Greg. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great.
So you guys
All right.
you guys finally finished.
We finished the Arizona's work. Yes, on Arizona. The Senate finished about 1 in on Saturday morning, Friday night. The House finished around a little after that, about a little before 5, I believe. So
Wow.
we finished up the session, signed the diet, passed a little over $18 billion budget. We're the only state in the union that is fully did the Trump tax cuts with the divided government. We're able to do that, so you don't have to refile your taxes, and we're able to, with the economy that's going, we're able to put your money back in your pocket where it belongs, and still invest in the infrastructure stuff we need for the state. So it was a really good budget.
Yeah. So that's the big question that's going around: if people have to refile their taxes or not.
We completely conformed. There's a couple tweaks on some small things, but I believe we did not have to refile. So that was the intent. So
Yeah, and I did see you guys accomplished all kinds of things, and then now I know the governor's now is trying to take credit for everything.
That's okay.
But when that is the conflict. Whether it's whoever's in the governorship, there's always a fight between the legislature and the governor and taking credit. And when you're doing what's right for the people, everybody wants to take credit. And
Right.
that's so we did a budget. Some of the stuff that you're looking at is like the moratorium on the data center, on the tax breaks. That was something we were addressing going forward. What is the right balance? So that's a moratorium. Those that are in the pipeline are able to continue to do that until we're not trying to encourage more through those tax credits, but but there's a process to that. So it was needed. There were some reforms we wanted to do on right now. Almost all the new data centers are going forward with water policies where they're using closed loop systems. I wanted to put that in the budget and get that as part of this negotiation, but that's more policy, and the Supreme Court has already said we can't put policy in the budget. So those are some of those reforms we'll bring back next session and put pressure on that. So it was a good budget.
Do we need data centers in Arizona, Senator? Do we need them?
Well, if you want to use we need them somewhere, and the latency, the closer they are to the public is where they work. For your internet and your chat GPT, and it's not only that, it's as you start to move your records for your hospital, for your insurance programs, everything that you store that you use to access is stored in a data somewhere. So the closer you have it to where you're working at using that is where the data center needs to be. So if you want those jobs where you're going to be actually going through that data and getting your insurance policies to work and your banking stuff, you need to be close to the people that are going to do that. So if you want all that located in some other state, the cloud doesn't work just by magic. It takes these things. So but there is a process to not just everybody thinks about your Facebook and your social media and your those kind of things, which does require a lot of data, but it's as we're moving our whole system of where we store things is not on paper anymore.
Yeah.
And so you got to think about those things as you're looking up and trying to figure out where you do that. So we want to balance.
Including pictures of your grandkids are there on the cloud.
Including pictures of your grandkids, including the data. And we're looking at Arizona and specifically Yuma. We've been working with our broadband loop system that Al's been putting in. We're working with the 34 towers.
Yeah.
We're telling the world that we're the most innovative with drones and data and water sensors and things that we're making sure that human agriculture is the world-renowned, which it already is, but the next step, and that requires computing and requires data. It requires all those things that are part of that system. So as we move our human agriculture forward, we're going to need places to store that information, whether it needs to be Yuma County or Maricopa County or LA. I mean, that's the next step. But as we start to do all these things, we're going to continue to be the leader in the world, even with our agricultural systems, and that requires more computing power.
The amount of, I mean, the reputation is so bad right now in data centers, and I know there's been a big push from somebody, and they think maybe China, to push negative about it. That half of the projects on the books right now have either been canceled or delayed because of local residents saying we don't want a data center. And I know you guys are up against that. Politicians are up against that. You guys, you don't want to do what's best for the country. You want to get reelected and all that. But how do you balance that?
I think it's looking at the policies like we did, whether it's making sure that we're encouraging the people to invest here for the right reason. They're not coming here just for a tax break, and shifting out of someplace else, making sure we have the right water and the right power. Power is more is because they're changing this stuff, and for the cooling with the closed loop systems and gel systems, it's more of the power drain and what are we going to do for our power. And we're looking at bringing in the next pipelines of natural gas that comes in for Arizona for our growth, and we don't want to tie all that up just for data centers.
Right.
When we have other manufacturing, other things that are going to need natural gas and electricity as well. So it's having the right policy as we look and have a balanced approach for what do we want here for Arizona as we do and have individual cities and counties making those choices as what do they want for their tax mix of tax and jobs. And so that's from the state perspective, just having the top down, looking at what we're doing and not overly encouraging it. There's certain tax policies and also pushing back on the right water policies. That's what I've been pushing at from the state perspective and making sure that we give local governments the best control of that as we can. That's kind of what we're trying to look at. Energy is the biggest thing.
Has there been any talk about these compact nuclear, or are they just so far out we can't really put one on the books yet?
No, they are right. They are coming soon. We have had meetings with the APS and SRP. Representative Carbon's been a leader in pushing the policies for nuclear. We're basically having the state be out in front trying to request and make sure we don't have any barriers for entry to that. No one wants to be the first one as far as the cost. Well, we already have Palo Verde Nuclear here. That is the next phase. We already do nuclear in submarines, done that for decades.
Yeah.
So they're being built. They're starting to be built here in America, and I think Arizona will be on track to be one of the next early adopters. We're making sure the policy from the state level is going to encourage that. I'm actually going to go tour around this summer to go look at some overseas, look at some stuff for power. So that's we're making sure we're bringing opening up the door here for Arizona to be one of the leaders.
So you're Senator Dunn, you're on your way to DC right now, but you've already missed the fights.
Well, my flight's not leaving until 9. So we have a this is kind of historic. The White House has started having state leadership conferences where they're bringing in the delegations. We have almost all the Republican Senate and House headed to D.C. this morning. It'll be at the White House, the Eisenhower building tomorrow afternoon for 4 hours, talking policy, working from a state perspective with the administration going forward. What can we do? And it's all things Arizona as it relates to federal issues, water being top of mind, but also just the PM10, our forestry regulations, the new energy's on the table. All those kind of briefings we'll be getting from the administration. So it's something that we haven't done in the past. Something that they think this is new to the administration, trying to make sure we have those conversations, and so I'm looking forward to it. So we're all headed out there. We'll have several other meetings besides one of the Eisenhower, the executive tower at the White House. So
yeah, we need
forward to it.
Yeah, we need to get rid of that PM10. That's been a pain in our
Oh,
butt
man.
for a
Yeah.
long time. And I mean, we were in attainment and they didn't give it to us. And yeah, we need to get rid of that. That's for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
We know it's coming back from the federal. We had the hearing in Yuma. Jonathan, Supervisor Lyons, has been helping lead that, and we're making some conversations while we're there. But yes, with this administration, just making sure we're actually using the science instead of just going backwards. When you have our neighboring countries and this stuff comes in flowing in from overseas, we can't control it enough here in Yuma and or Central Arizona to fix that. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do things correctly, but we also need to make sure that we can penalize our own local businesses for something
right.
that's done around the world.
Yeah, we need to be as clean as possible, but we can't prevent, Mexico and all that kind of stuff from coming up here. So that needs to be taken into account. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Quick,
So
quick question on the budget. Did anything in the budget hurt ESA?
no, ESAs are solid. We've actually spent more money on school districts. ESAs they're all protected. We got to decline to sign that there's a ballot initiative out there that's trying to limit ESAs dramatically.
Right.
We put some alternative options on the ballot, some really good stuff for the military families for ESAs. The budget protected where we're at right now. We just need to make sure we keep control of the legislature, which is pushing back, and then do the best we can on getting swapping out our governor.
Well, this election coming up is a big election because I was told that there actually may be 3 Supreme Court justices retiring, and obviously we're going to have the redistricting during the next term of the governor, and I mean we could lose the Supreme Court to the woke liberals if we don't get out and turn out in this next election.
You're exactly right, and more every election we keep saying that, but I think it's truer and truer, rings truer that just because of the diversity and the ideas and the extremism shows you how important it is to show up and cast your ballot and make sure you get out the vote, and because majority of Arizonans do not agree with those woke ideas, but if you let the loud voices ring out and show up, then they overcome sanity. And we've got to make sure people show up, and because that's not what we believe in. And you're right, the Supreme Court justices, one of them is forced retirement, Justice Bullock, because of the age that's in the Constitution. He's aged out. His wife is Senator Bullock, so he's out in 2027 because of age. So that's one of the really good conservative judges. And I don't know the names of the other 2 that are going to be out.
Yeah, but and that's between what Andy Biggs says and actually what Edward was saying about our country not being around in that same state in 50 years. I mean, it's a fight at the ballot, and just like you said, like the last election was the important one to save our country. This next election is probably the most important to save our state.
Oh, I agree, and you have the ability to do that. We just need to listen, show up, and participate, and that's because the conservative ideas, the independents really ring true to that, and the independents are going to make the difference in our in the turnout, because I believe a majority of the independents believe in conservative ideas and the rule of law, and they do not want to have these woke ideas, and so. That's what we're really counting on, is to make sure they understand the message, understand that Republicans are here to fight for them, and there's extreme on both sides, but conservative ideas is what our country and our state was founded on, and that's what we want to make sure they believe in the way we govern. And it's true when you have the governor championing the things that we force them to come through to the budget, force them to come through on stuff. You know that. We're on the right because the governor is pivoting and supporting our ideas. So we just got to make sure we show up.
Quick question on water. I mean, Senator Dunn, I know you're a farmer and you probably pay more attention than most. We've been in a drought for 20 years probably, and there's always a bunch of ideas floating around, fighting over the drops that are there. And as the river goes down, the meads go down, and all that, more cutbacks. Where do we stand on water? Do we have any plans for long-term relief?
Yeah, we definitely were in an extreme drought. It's worse than we ever thought that we are going to be at. This past winter's really put us short. Even though Yuma has the oldest water rights on the river, you still have to have water in the river to be able to come down. And so that's where we're at, is being able to ensure we have enough water. We have Jonathan Lyons, the chairman of the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority. We are looking at new forms of water. We just signed an MOU with San Diego, which is really helps that water would be really for the off takers that are needed to replace their CAP water up in central Arizona, not necessarily for Yuma itself. But yeah, we're looking at all this. We have money in the budget set aside for that, and we're continuing to work to push for that. So definitely long term.
So is the plan that we're going to help San Diego put in some desal plants? Is that what the plan is?
Well, they already have one, and it's already up and running.
Okay.
So they're trying to help pay for it, and so the plan would be to swap their Colorado River water allotments that they're using, and then we pay for that, and then the Central Arizona project off takers would basically get the Colorado River water, which are still relying on the Colorado River having water to deliver down. So it's still an issue, but yeah, we're looking at that. We also have other balance, and we have the Harquahala transfer basins up in Central Arizona that we're working on being able to have water there. Central Arizona cities, because of the water policy, has basically half a lake need is put in the ground because of the water policy that
right.
If you use it or lose it, we stored that water in the Central Arizona did, and then California, they filled up their lakes, and then when their lakes are full with the snow, they would just let that water go off into the ocean. So they let their water go in the ocean. We put ours in the ground. So the cities that when they're shorted up here this next go around, they're already making plans to be able to pull that water back out of the ground to backfill that. So the river's over allocated.
Right.
We're positioning ourselves. We need snow.
I know California voters voted to put in some more reservoirs, and they took the money to destroy 3 reservoirs instead.
Yeah, they did.
Gavin Newsom dug them up. There's nothing we can do about California, but when they run out of water, it hurts us.
There's some. Yes, they did take some of those dams out. There is 2 big projects: raising the Shasta Dam, which allows more, which would directly benefit the user, cross exchange for those that need the Colorado River water, and also the Bay Delta transfer and the Sites Dam that would collect the runoff for the water that's going from the Sierra Nevadas out to the ocean. That's the big fight with the cold water for salmon. Actually, Gavin Newsom's on our side with this, on actually doing good improvements to that, and the president's been pushing that. So that's an interesting debate over there. But those are 2 things that are on the table as part of this Western States Save the River system. Longer, it's something that's been going on for the last decade, that we can look at. That's part of the how do you get more water to save snowpack, and then allow the water to the Colorado River water to come down while they save that water there. So it's actually in California. I'm surprised that they're moving it forward, but the Gavin Newsom's he's running for president too, though. So he's
maybe
he's been doing some different things, but pushing back a little bit on their their environmental salmon policies. So,
Well, we've got a super El Nino this year. Maybe it'll give us a little bit of a bump. It's not, we're not going to end the drought, but maybe give us a little bump that we haven't had in a while.
well, right. And the problem, if you have our Yuma hat on, when you look at what we did in DCP, those who are in the room that are LA and in Central Arizona, we're always looking at we're gonna continue to just keep using the water while we're relying on a better hydrology. Same thing right now. If we keep relying on this El Nino, their concepts are we're gonna rely on this.
No.
It's gonna be better, and we're gonna. The problem is they're betting the farm, but they don't have a farm to bet. The farms that are in Yuma is their betting is my farm and our friends' farms, because we know that can't count on the snow until it's there, and you can't keep making decisions based on, well, we're going to get snow this year, so we can keep using the water.
Yeah.
We're going to get a rain this year, so we're going to, so that's the policies that has been the problem for the last go around that we're trying to overcome, that I'm trying to overcome and educate our friends on that. We need to, yes, we're praying for a good El Nino, but you still got to do the right cuts and do the right thing now, because we can't rely on that.
Completely agree. Senator Tim, I appreciate your time, buddy. Have a great trip.
All right, I just pulled
Yeah.
in the parking garage, so I'm
All
gonna go get on the airplane.
All right,
guys.
thanks, Tim.
Have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
You
Bye-bye.
bet.
Senator Tim Dunn. Nice of him to call in.
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't get much sleep.
I was going to tell you, this is not the order of the fights.
It's upside down.
Yeah, I think so, because this was the last.
That's the last
fight.
one.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking at my sheet for the
Yeah.
fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them.
Yep, 7 fights.
7 fights. And the last one was the one that was a stoppage.
Yes.
When you've had enough.
Yeah.
Stop before you get something.
His face was basically hamburger, and he couldn't see out of one of his eyes, and that's why they almost stopped it in the 4th round. But somehow they convinced the doctor to let him go, because the doctor had waved him off. You're not going out for the 4th round, but he did. But
Really good to hear from Senator Dunn. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been really steady. As a representative, senator now, good for Yuma. Obviously, his head's in farming.
Yep, he and
Very-
Carbone have been some of the best that
Right.
we've had. Representative Carbone and then now Senator Tim Dunn have been 2 of the best that we've had.
And we need them to lead us with these data centers. The data centers have
Mhm.
become so much misinformation.
Right.
It's really hard to cut through it.
Well, and Edward talked about it too. It's China is the one that's financing all this misinformation on data centers, and why they want to stop us from getting data centers so
Right.
they can dictate to the world what AI does.
Right. So they
Yeah.
get ahead of us with AI.
Yeah,
We won't have the memory power, the
Yeah.
data's power.
And China is using AI to control their people, and so they don't want our AI out there, because it has. Hopefully it will have factual information, and China doesn't want that.
Edward had an AI system being put in Virginia. They'd been working on it for quite a while
Right.
with the local city. It was a small place. It was a small, it wasn't a major city.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to actually rejuvenate that city a little bit.
Yeah.
The local colleges and all that. And I think it was like 1.2 billion or something they were going to put in. And it was all going to be the gel. No, not going to use any
Right.
water.
Yeah.
They were bringing their own power plant.
Yeah.
So it was going to employ a lot more people. And it got stopped. It got stopped by the governor for DEI purposes.
Virginia?
Yeah. For
Yeah.
DEI.
I think you
And they
told me
didn't
that.
call it DEI, just like he was saying
Yeah.
on the air. It was, they call it something else about helping disadvantage. You're going to have some disadvantage or something on there. But it's a small town. He would have to find people across the country for trans and stuff to bring in there to fill the DI requirements. Would have been impossible to make that work. And so they stopped it, and they had to go. And he personally, and just show what kind of guy Edward is. I mean, he's a treacherous businessman for sure. But he went and talked to the mayor personally. He
Mhm.
went and talked to the college personally and said the
Yeah.
plans are off. He went and talked to the restaurants, and he'd said, look, I want you to make it. I'd like to
Yeah.
help you. and tell them like, I'm sorry, we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yep, it is. You know, DEI kills a lot of things, you know. And when that first started, I was like, I was talking to Nicole, it's like, oh, we'll never see that here in Yuma. We're Yuma and stuff. And then I went to a school board meeting and they started talking about equity. And I'm like, oh my God, it's here in our schools. And how do we get rid of this stuff? And you know, I'm kind of like with Edward, it's like we need to do that. But how do you do that? How do you get it out of the minds of the teachers and it's not all teachers, but it is a thing. And I believe like Trump did that it's discrimination. And that's what it is. You want people to get a leg up that don't have it, but you do that by teaching them, you know, to read and write and math. You don't teach it like you get it no matter what. And that's the problem with DEI is they just hand it to people and then they don't have to work hard. And, you know, but if our schools go back to concentrating on people teaching our students, you know, the basics and obviously they got to bring in tech, you know, they got to teach them AI and those things, but they need to knock off the nonsense about that you get something for free, basically, and you get your B, even though you're doing D or F work. You know, they have remedial classes to bring these kids up. Maybe get them into a homeschool program or something like that. And I understand that there are certain parents that are not involved in their children, but those are the things that need to change. And our schools can do compensation things like doubling up on reading classes or doubling up on math classes. There are things that the schools can do rather than teaching, you know, free stuff. And you get ahead, you get a hand up no matter how terrible you're doing. So and DEI will kill our country if we can't change it. And all the names, the new names that they've started calling it different names that you've seen. If we can't kill that, our country is going to be in trouble.
And they're just doing all they can to keep it alive, thinking that when Trump's gone and all that, we'll bring it right back.
Yeah,
you know?
And I think that's their plan,
right?
And that's why we can't let that happen.
And bring it back, put it back in the military, put it back everywhere else, and then our recruit numbers will go back down, and our readiness. Yeah, everything else.
And it's amazing how our readiness and everything else has changed. You know, I'm a little bit closer to things in the military, but the military is dynamic. The things that they're doing are amazing. And that was going down the tubes.
We don't even know what they're doing. I mean, I don't know how they took Venezuela out. It's still a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Wow. What did they use?
That's what I mean. They're doing amazing things, and we can't stop that by bringing in basically DEI.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Stay focused on doing our job.
Right, the best based on merit. Yes.
Edward sent me this one report, and I'd seen it earlier. I mean, I saw some discussion on the F-35's ability to be ready. And on every platform, military aircraft, they always check what percentage is ready for mission.
You report mission ready
yeah.
on a regular basis.
And aircraft, particularly high performance aircraft like these fighter jets and all that, and helicopters, they spend so many hours in maintenance. I think a helicopter one time, like 7 hours in maintenance for every hour of flight or something on some of those helicopters.
Yeah.
So you never have 100% of the fleet ready. A lot of it's is being wrenched at one point or another.
Yeah.
But readiness is a big deal to you guys when you're flying.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To everybody.
Yeah.
Well, right now they're saying that the readiness of the F-35 is 25%.
Yeah.
Full mission capable is 25%, which it's got to cause a shock to everybody. You thought, well, when you build an aircraft, it's ready to go.
Yeah. Well, and that's so one of the big problems they had with the F-35 program is and the problem is that Congress appropriates money and it's by politics. So an airplane gets funded by how many states a part for the airplane is from. And one of the things, the big mistake that they did is when they fielded the F-35, they wanted to get as many airplanes out as they could, and they didn't fund the spare parts properly. So they didn't have the spare parts on hand that they needed for the initial F-35s.
That's what I understand from this article, and there was some congressional interviews of generals and stuff like why is the F-35? The generals were saying too that there's some software problems for like 100 or so of them that are fairly new, and they just haven't got the software right, which is kind of shocking. I thought they've been up enough that software wasn't going to be a problem, but I don't know that into the tech, and maybe they're changing it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, my Tesla, like I get a update for my software. I've been getting more than one a week on my car.
Well, and maybe there's updates, but it's coming a lot slower for the aircraft.
Yeah.
And it's changed over the years. The when they first, let me see, I got some numbers here. When they first came out, it was actually better than it is right now, and it has dropped as they get new airplanes out. And it's the spare parts thing that you're talking about. It was the software problems that they talk about.
They probably tried to recompile the software to redo it, and sometimes that does not work.
And it comes right down to parts. And they're trying to get more money onto the parts, and like you said, it comes down to money. They think it's going to cost more. JPO, and that's what is JPO? Joint Program Office.
Yeah.
It says it'll take 13.7 billion more than previously planned through fiscal 2031 to get things up to speed. There's spare parts shortages, maintenance problems, heavy contractor reliance is causing them problems. And then, of course, got the GAO involved looking at the issues.
Yeah,
and they need a reset on how they're doing it, which kind of surprises me. I thought they were past all this. This plane's been out a decade now, right?
Yeah, that's about right. Well, and see, that's why it's so critical that you still keep airframes like the A-10. I mean, the Air Force has made a stupid mistake in not upgrading the A-10 or even coming out with the next version of the A-10, because the F-35 and the F-22, even the F-15, F-18, they do amazing things, but they can't do what the A-10 does, and the survivability of that platform, even though it's slow.
That comes up all the time.
It does.
All the time. A-10's gone, A-10's gone, and it's expensive to keep the old airframes going. It is.
Right.
F-35s, the Pentagon operates 800 of the jets, more than 800 of the jets right now. And they plan to buy 1,700 more by the mid-2040s.
F-35 or F-47?
F-35s.
Really?
F-35. 47's a whole different animal.
Right. That's the next generation.
Yeah, that's more like the F-22 type aircraft. I don't. Well, hopefully not as expensive. F-22 was like the most expensive plane. I think there's still more money than F-35.
It was funny when we went down and toured the plant where the F-22 and F-35 are made. They were the last couple of F-22s were rolling off the line, and they were cutting up the molds, so they can't make anymore.
And that's one of the planes we never exported to anybody, not our friends, our allies. Nobody gets an F-22 but us.
Yeah.
And it's still something that is like the top of the top. That's an airplane you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
And the F-35s are no slouch, but it sounds like a lot of them are on the ground. But I don't know if they just picked a bad timing because they say because there's so many new ones out there right now that just didn't have the software. But you remember when they first came to Yuma, 0% was mission capable.
Right. Yeah. And they didn't have they had almost no spare parts.
Well, they hadn't been certified for night. They hadn't been certified for weather. They hadn't been certified for certain armaments.
Yeah.
And they had to go through this process.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the Yuma training was doing, was getting them certified, getting them up to speed.
I think they just retired the last Harrier squadron. I think I remember seeing something about that.
I wonder how accurate this. I mean, I think the number of 25% mission ready is accurate, but I wonder if that just hit a bubble point, or something. It wasn't normal for them. They aim to be mission capable rate of 65%, or I'm sorry, full mission capable of 65% by 2030. I guess that's a good number on the paper. But when you're at 25, I mean, I'd want to have some details like how in the hell are you going to make those kinds of huge adjustments? More than twice as many planes sitting there. And there's always going to be planes in the hangar, always.
Yeah. Well, and I can go back underneath Carter. And I was in a missile unit, an aircraft missile unit, and we had no spare parts. I mean, literally, we were soldering paper clips into fuses because we couldn't even have fuses. Yeah. And I mean,
your electricians hate that.
Yeah, and we had a radar that was down for a year, and we knew what was wrong with it. We just
couldn't get the
have
parts.
spare parts. Yeah,
that's terrible.
And I think that's what they're going through.
They are going through it. They address that.
And that's maybe a result of having Biden in there for 4 years.
Some of it's as simple as the canopy. The canopy on those planes gets a lot of stress, and you have to replace them occasionally. The backlog on those is horrendous, and only one person's making them,
right?
And you can't get them, so you got a plane sitting there with no canopy.
Yeah, and see, if you have people like Austin and that kind of thing in place, and Biden in the presidency, you don't have the top level that's getting visibility to the things that the warfighters need, and that's 100% change now. But it's going to take them a while to catch up, to get our military back where we need to, because everybody, we were talking about the DEI and how it's affected the military and all those different things, but and these different leaders and generals that were made, and it caused a lot more damage than just having wokeness in the military. I mean, when you have mechanics and technicians that are not as skilled, that are promoted into positions when just because of their race and not because of their technical proficiency, it trickles down into the workforce. And so I think this F-35 issue is part of that, not properly funding the military, promoting, having the wrong people in charge. And you're seeing a huge culling of general officers and others in the military. And so I think, we're on the path to fix that. If they're saying 2030 is the right date, I don't have a handle on it.
I hope so. Oh, and I finally found that number back in 2021, fiscal year 2021, their mission capable rate was 38%. Now it's 25. As of last year, it was 25. Yeah. Those are big slides. 38% doesn't even sound good.
No, but for an initial fielding of a system, that's probably okay, because it takes a while to learn all the high tech. And
there were so many planes. I remember. I mean, I was talking to the military a lot more a few years ago when they first came out. I talked to them a lot more about it. So many planes that were being produced, and they would send them to them, knowing that some of the parts had to be replaced, just based on what they found in the field. Like, oh no, we need to re-engineer that piece. But they'd go ahead and finish the planes that were being constructed to get them into the field, even though they couldn't. They had to do an upgrade.
So the company gets paid,
I guess.
Yeah, they roll it off the assembly line and kick it out the door.
They had to produce so many in such a time, and they otherwise they would shut down production every time a piece. Wait a minute, we need a new piece for this. We don't have any. It'll take us 3 weeks. No, don't build a plane for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So they just kept building, knowing that they would do a field replacement.
Yeah. And when you set up a production schedule, just like Nicole does in her construction contract, you have your long lead items, and you need to put together your schedule. And sometimes the long lead parts to build these airplanes don't come in on time. And so they got to use what they have.
Yeah. You can't get it done. Musk is brilliant at working through those problems.
Yeah, he is. His SpaceX
and Tesla. I seeing engineering on Tesla and looking at those engineers that pull them apart. You cut through a lot of the parts problems by having fewer parts. So, like, all his screws would be like, he only had like 3 different screw sizes, where in a lot of cars it'd be like 50 different sizes. So if you run out of one screw, though, it's a problem.
10 millimeter socket is key for. That's my Model 3 that I had is 2018.
All 10 millimeter.
For much. 10 millimeter. Yeah. And you know, the same thing now. I have a 2026 Model Y, and I'll just tell you that the Model 3 that I had in 18 was really good, but now the Model Y that I have, the 26, it's like great. It's amazing. I told you I have Grok AI integrated into the car, and the things that it does. I would say 80% I'm on autopilot, 80% of the time.
Well, you're going to forget how to drive, you know.
Yeah, I do sometimes.
It's going to be a problem for you.
Oh God, I got a brake. Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a problem. Well, hopefully we can get the situation, because I don't think anyone's aware. We see the great things F-35s have done in Iran,
yes,
and Venezuela. You know, they're a key component part to all that, and we still have a lot of them flying.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got 800 and you say that only 25% are mission capable,
yeah,
that's a lot of hardware sitting on the ground.
it is. And hopefully, I know they're trying like a $1.5 trillion defense budget, but I think a lot of the money is going to fix problems that have happened over the last, 4 or 5 years, and reestablishing those spare parts in there. And you also have to gear up all these manufacturers and subcomponent manufacturers to get
Right.
parts out there. So
Right. And
it
it's
takes
and
a
they're
little bit.
and they like to have, and you said they want to build a little bit in every state, so every state is getting some benefit from having a new platform. Well, then you got these small businesses all over the place.
Yeah.
And some of them go out of business. Some of them stop manufacturing it, or don't manufacture it fast enough. They're not going to spool up. Like right now, they would like more canopies to come out faster.
Yeah.
Well, the company's got to look at that and say, well, it costs us millions to spool up to where we could build twice as much or twice as fast.
Yeah.
But we don't know if you're going to cut us off at some point.
Yeah. Having to add a shift, add another shift. So you have 3 shifts instead of 2 or 1.
Sometimes it works like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Ted. Good morning, Ted.
Guten Morgen, Herr Clark. I'm practicing my German since I'm a Nazi and all the Republicans are Nazis.
I don't think we're going to be taken over by Germany anytime soon, so I think you're safe.
Yeah. We already are. They said we're Nazis.
Oh, that's the left says
Party
that.
said we're Nazis. We're Nazis.
That's hyperbole. Don't worry about it.
Hyperbole.
Yeah.
Well, I'm practicing up on my 4 years of German.
Oh.
Was ist los, meine Herren?
What were you, an engineering student or something? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
I studied German for 4 years.
For fun.
I guess. I don't know. I wanted to see the world. You know what I mean? My teacher was German, Frau Howe.
Oh,
lived over in Clifton with the beautiful people.
Is that the lady that was on Young Frankenstein?
Frankenstein. Well, I just wanted to say good morning to you guys before it got too hot, and everybody be careful because it's already steaming out there.
It is. It's hot.
I already punched my new oil well for my oil. I don't care about anybody else.
Well, stay careful out there, man. It's really hot and you're an old man. I don't want you to have a stroke or something.
Please. Old does not go in that sentence.
Okay. Well, I was gonna go with feeble, but okay.
That's you left out minded. Feeble-minded.
Okay.
How you doing this morning, man? You okay? Your health wise, everything?
We're doing good. I got to work on time. Greg came in to bail me out so that I'm not lonely in here and all that.
Bail you out? Who arrested you? What
No. Bail me out from having to be alone.
Nazi.
In the office
that's
all
why
alone.
you've been arrested for being a Nazi.
Never gonna happen. I didn't even take German.
I saw Biggs on TV the other night, but really meant nothing whatever he was saying. I don't know.
Andy Biggs?
Yeah, he was something on the TV on Newsmax or something.
I have no idea. I did see it, but I support him. I do. I like him.
I do too, as long as he's not a Democrat. But I'm telling you, these people pander. They don't do anything.
I think he's better than that.
Big to do about the reactors in Tennessee, buddy. Burchett was on TV. They're going hog wild on those new pocket reactors.
Well, that's what we need. We need them down here in Yuma so we can put in a data center.
Yeah.
I told them to put them on the moon. That is the way to put it. We have the data links to make the communication. Why waste all this energy fighting over this? Just put them on the moon.
Yeah. Well, Elon wants to put them up in space.
Won't work.
In orbit.
The more I read on that stuff, to dissipate heat in space doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't
No,
work.
on the moon it does.
Not well, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be better up there. I don't know.
You know what else would be better up there?
You.
Half the Congress. Oh, that's mean. You are mean, Russ. I'm trying to solve a problem here, and you want to play games?
Yeah, one of these
Call
days,
names?
Alice.
Nah. Oh, to the moon, Alice. God, I miss that. I miss that show so bad.
That just shows you how old we are. All right, buddy.
Typical New Yorkers.
We'll see you later.
All right, bye.
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 Mr. Ted, want to let me know he's awake. Gonna go outside.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got a note from Edward that the boyfriend, well, you're just thanking him for last night and for allowing him to meet Trump. So he got to meet Trump
Oh, that's cool.
at the fights.
I think it's good.
That was nice. And he put a note down that now his whole family's Republican. If that's what it takes, and everybody should meet him. I'm saying send everybody over there.
There you go.
Send them over there.
Yes.
We'll get over there. Send
We need
AOC
that.
over there.
One voter at a time, or 5 voters at a time, whatever it is.
I have a listener that sent me an AI explanation of why we have a drought. Climate change.
Because it's not raining.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Climate change. But something about AI, that isn't AI coming into a deduction. AI is looking at the material available, which is all the articles by the leftists saying that it's climate change.
Yeah.
That isn't a scientific study from AI. It's reading the science, pseudoscience that is out there in the internet to read, and they'll put those things together.
What one of the things you need to understand is the left, the woke left, was always talking about global warming.
Yeah.
And they figured out, well, no, the planet's actually cooling. It's not warming. Because if you look at the temperatures over the last 20 million years, the planet, we're in a cooling cycle. And so then they had to change the climate change. Well,
Climate change. Because then anything that happens
Yeah.
is your fault.
yeah. And because the climate does always change.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have rain, sometimes we don't.
Well,
Yeah.
and Edward did a great study on checking all the weather stations
Mm-hmm.
on the planet, all the weather stations.
Yeah.
And to see if they conform to their own rules, like being away from buildings and being away from concrete. And they don't. I mean,
They
they're
don't.
horrible. And he actually put up some of his own.
Yeah.
Came up with conclusions. And then he couldn't publish the paper. He did it for a doctoral thesis through the college. And somebody bought it so that they could bury it and not talk about it.
Well, some of the weather stations they put on top of some of these big
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, I know.
And of
It's
course,
generating heat.
yeah, exactly. By
I know.
asphalt and all this stuff. Yeah.
So and all the people that like the Al Gores of the world and all that said the seas are going to rise 10 feet and all that, they bought beachfront.
Yeah. Yeah.
They knew
Exactly.
better.
Yeah.
They knew better. So I don't know which one's right, which one's wrong. I mean, is the climate changing? Sure, of course.
Yeah.
It always has.
Every day.
We can dig down into the rock and say, this used to be a swamp and this used to be a desert. Now it's not.
Yeah,
All that stuff.
Everybody wants to have the cleanest water, the cleanest air, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's not what they're talking about.
The same listener also put something down there that Edward said that China had 1 billion people executed. And I don't remember him saying he probably did, but I think that's just hyperbole from
Yes.
Edward.
Yeah, it was. It was. So
He didn't really mean 1 billion.
Yeah,
but
they
it was
executed a lot though. And
it was
and
millions,
plus-
millions of people.
yeah, and plus they were, if you were only allowed to have one child, and it had to be, or one child.
that was
that
until
female.
recently, man.
Yeah,
That was,
and if you're going to have another female child, you had to have it aborted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it was choice, but everybody wanted to have a boy,
Mm-hmm.
which really put things upside down.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 50-50 split.
Right.
That's dangerous. It doesn't work out in the long run. Tim, I'm trying to do two things. Social Security's running out. Are you afraid?
No. I think.
Why not?
It'll be fixed.
Yeah.
I know they have massive problems, but as long as we don't have another a Democrat in office after Trump, I think it's going to be okay. If we can get the fraud out of all these states that are like my old home state, like Minnesota, with massive fraud, and California and Ohio with or Illinois, I'm sorry, with this massive fraud going on. I think if we get that under control, and stop Congress from
it doesn't
touching
mention that in the article.
Yeah.
And a lot of this article, it has Elizabeth Warren in it. And Elizabeth Warren is demanding to know the changes. Like, Mr. Trump, what are you going to do? Are you going to cut the retirement funds? Are you going to make the age? Of course, they're asking that right now because Trump's in president,
right?
And there's elections going on and all that kind of stuff. And he wants Trump to say something like, "Yeah, we're going to cut the." Well, no one's going to answer it right now.
Right.
It's not going to run out of funds, they say, until 2032, according to the latest reports.
Yeah.
And something that was mentioned. And I think Edward sent me this article, but he mentioned something in it about, it's funny how they never say we're running out of money for welfare, we're going to have to cut it.
Yeah.
We seem to have endless pockets for what we didn't save for or promise.
Right.
But we don't have the money that we promised because we stole it for those other endless projects.
Well, I really think, looking at the numbers of what they've got in this fraud, they can save a lot of money for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the special programs they put out to these NGOs. And NGOs, the NGOs are giving each other a bad name. I don't know. There are great NGOs like, our local food bank is a great NGO, but there's all these others out there that are just fraud, pots of fraud money. And so I think we need to take a serious look of what NGOs are being funded. And that's in the state and at the federal level. And, take another look at that to see how we save these programs and keep them going.
Yeah. If you've been watching some of the fraud talk that's been going on, they had a panel the other day talking about some of the fraud in the God, I can't remember what it was. It was like the Medicaid end of life care or something. I don't know what, one of the ones they had 800
hospice. You're talking about hospice organization,
hospice type organization.
Yeah.
They had like 800 organizations that looked like there was something fishy with them. So they just cut the funding. Nobody complained.
Right. Yeah.
What? If you're getting millions of dollars a year to run your organization and the federal government cuts it off and you just walk away? No, not if it's legit.
Right.
Is the theory.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Some of these, there are great, and I used our local food bank as a great example of a really good one, but there are probably 10 times that are bad. And a lot of them are run by immigrants. Obviously the Somali community, they're talking about it over in Somalia before they even come over here, about how they can set up scams. And the best place to come in the United States is Minnesota, because they have the weakest control and you can get the most money out of the state of Minnesota in a scam. And that's what happened. I'm really hoping that Walz, who's the governor, and Ellison, who's the attorney general, because they shut down the whistleblowers that came forward with this, I think way back in 2019.
They apparently have punished whistleblowers for years, according to some of the testimony.
Right. And I'm really hoping that they get indicted. I mean, the people in Minnesota are sick of them, and hopefully they can get their election under control. Because, as I told you before, that in Minnesota, you can register the day of voting, and one person can go in and vouch for 8 other people. No ID, no nothing.
No address. No matter.
And that's why this Save America Act could transform our elections.
They learned from California, which has foolproof their election. You can cheat all you want, and you can't research it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still curious. Like, they're investigating the California. I think they'll never find fraud because they didn't put any way to double check anything.
Yeah. Well, and
It's all gone. You can't double check.
yeah, there's no IDs, there's no nothing. I guess you'd have
Yeah.
a library
How
card,
can you prove
whatever.
anything?
Yeah. Well, in Minnesota, it's even worse than that, that you don't have to have anything. A person can just come in and say, yeah, these 8
Yeah.
people, this is their name, register them, vote, let them vote. They go to the next polling place
So
and re-register them under a different name, and those 8 people vote again. And they do that over and over and over again.
but you heard that California's cracking down now. I understand a lot of Republicans got their votes kicked out due to signature irregularities in
I
the
heard
Pratt.
that. I heard
Oh,
that.
what I heard was only Republicans. I hope that's not true.
Yeah.
But that's a report that was out there.
Right.
And apparently they've never done that with signatures.
Well, yeah, and I heard a very large number now. Whether that number is
I have
true
no
or
idea.
not, but
I haven't sorted through it. I haven't seen anybody
Mhm.
verify anything at
Yeah,
this
and
point.
DOJ's out there, so I'm hoping they
What the heck can they find now? I mean, when you look at the ballot, say, okay, I'm going to see if this is really a voter. We don't have his address. Well, I'm going to see if this is signature. We don't have his signature.
So the latest ploy, and I don't know if you've heard this one, is, and it's not a ploy, it's actually a way to get this under control, is the post office will not deliver ballots unless you provide the voter registration database so they can validate that people are citizens.
I saw that. I don't know if that's going to fly. I hope it does.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, yeah, it'd be a great way. So you set the post office up to cruise the citizenship to make sure a ballot isn't going out to a non-citizen. That would probably cut the ballots in California in half.
I think it would be easy to cut the ballots in half in California.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're not good at taking them off the rolls. I know people that have been begging them for years. Victor David Hansen talks about it on the air all the time. His son hasn't lived with him for a long time. He still gets the ballot, still calls them constantly.
Yeah. Well, I heard the number of 880,000 dead people are still on the rolls in California.
And it's not surprising. It looks like
Yeah.
they don't. George Braun still gets a California ballot.
Yeah. And they voted not to take them off the dead people off the ballot.
We don't want to take dead people off.
Yeah.
That's their legacy.
Yeah, exactly. I see dead people.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the Social Security is supposed to run out in 2032. So the way Social Security set up is the current people paying in support the debt,
Right.
which is nuts. When when Social Security first started, it was a total different animal. It was kind of voluntary, and the money was invested for your retirement
Mhm.
and all that. And then over the years, it's so many things got added to it: survivors benefits and all kinds of kids benefits and everything.
Yep.
What they saw as a pile of money, we just got to spend it.
Yeah, that Congress tapped our Social Security money that we put aside.
Well, then they take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what they do is officially it's being put into bonds. The bonds are government bonds, and that's the only thing they can buy. They can't buy anything on the market. They can't buy Tesla. They can't do any of that stuff. They can't invest anything, and they get a very small return.
Mhm.
But actually, the money's just going to Congress to spend.
Yeah.
And they're calling it bonds.
Yeah.
It's an IOU,
Mhm.
and very little return on in that investment.
Yeah, I think that's what I should do. I should take my next Social Security report that shows how much I paid in it over the years and find out how much money I invested and draw a rate of 3% or
Just do the average of the
5%,
Dow.
and see, and
Oh,
see what
You would
should
get
be.
double, triple what you're getting.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
But we've mishandled it all along, and I think there's a lot of reforms that need to be done.
Mhm.
Warren says Republicans have a history of attempting to increase the retirement age, privatize Social Security, or otherwise cut Social Security benefits. And some congressional Republicans have called to raise retirement age as a means test benefit as a solution to the problem. Of course, she's all screaming this now, not why Biden's in office.
Right.
Like, okay, Trump, you fix it. You fix it. Because we Democrats don't fix anything.
Right. Well, and that's their.
And then we can put a label on you. You're the one that changed the benefits. And if anything had changed, they should stop. They should cut the fraud. You cut the fraud. You mentioned that earlier. You cut the fraud. We would have cash flow.
Yeah. Yep.
But I still think it's interesting that all the freebies, which is the welfare stuff, no one ever puts a cap on it. We only put a cap on Social Security. You know, how is that? How do we live with ourselves on that? Liz Houston, White House spokesperson, answers Warren, says President Trump will always protect and strengthen Social Security. And I think that's all that needs to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Congress will sit down and work with it. Mike Johnson's looking at plans, and he told he was in Louisiana on a radio station that he intends to push forward with a plan to address spending for Social Security, Medicare, next year.
Well, I think the standard thing, the response to Elizabeth Warren is, you put forward a bill and we'll look at it. Put it up back on her. It's like, find a solution. Tell me what that is. But yeah, she won't do that. She'll just complain.
They're talking about the age change. Now, it was 65 when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for full retirement. Right. Now it's 67.
Yes.
It was 66 and a half for me, although I haven't taken it yet.
Well, it's graduated, so it moves up a little bit every year.
To 67. I think 67 was the cap. I mean, it's not unless they changed something.
Yeah, I was 66 and 2/3, which
I was 66 and a half. You must be older. I think I was 66 and a half.
I am.
But I haven't filed for it.
Although I look younger.
Yeah, very much. Must be the Marine part of it or something that does that. Keeps you in great shape. But they're talking that if they do an age change, like, okay, let's make it 69, that they takes decades. Apparently, the last time they changed it, it took decades to do it because they did it in 1983 is when they passed the last reform that does that. And it didn't change for a decade. They didn't say we're going to start doing it next year. It started,
right.
So I guess you could plan for that.
They grandfather back to a certain age, I think. Is what they do.
Yeah.
And the one that we went through, of course, they phased it in like a month. It increased a month at a time. And I don't know if it capped at 67 or what it did. But yeah, I know I was, anyway. But yeah, I was 66 and 2/3, I think was mine.
Nazis from Maine are okay, according to Edward. That's okay.
Nazis from Maine are grandfathered in.
Well, yeah. Well, that's was that Plattner? He's the Nazi on the Democrat. Well, he's a Democrat Nazi. They're fine,
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah, he's a Democrat Nazi.
Yeah, it's like
we're okay with Nazis now.
Yeah, we'll call you all Nazis, but just because we have Nazi tattoo, concentration camp, Nazi SS. I guess it's SS tattoo. It's okay. It's okay for us to do.
Yeah, Edward also mentioned that the Kennedy Center now has officially just the Kennedy Center, not the Trump Kennedy Center. They took the name down.
Oh, they did. I heard they went back to court.
They probably are, but they took the name down for now. I was surprised too. I saw that this morning. So something that where they brought the trucks out, took the name down. I'm good with that. I don't care.
Well, the board was actually the one who did that. Trump did not do that.
But Trump put the board out there.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Which is good because now they were starting to put on shows that people cared about.
Yeah, but he's the one that is fixing all this stuff.
Yes,
I mean, you see the before and after picture, the fountains, and
it's beautiful. Even the Democrats say it's beautiful.
Yeah, and he's spending way less than any of the other presidents have to try to fix this stuff. And I guess is it the Lincoln Pool or Washington Monument Pool or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that looks great.
The reflecting pool. And apparently Obama put $35 million into it and it didn't work.
Right.
Because he didn't do the plumbing or something. I don't know what happened, but it was still getting leaks. Millions of gallons were leaking into the ground and it was getting algae blooms and stuff. So hopefully Trump's got it fixed.
And it's the same thing with the Kennedy Center. I mean, he's going to redo and fix up the Kennedy Center because my understanding it was like falling apart. I mean,
and they showed a lot of pictures of the inside of it. Some of the stuff, and he was going to shut it down for 2 years. It was because you have to shut it down because we're going to rewire the thing.
Yeah,
and that got stopped. And apparently, the material to fix the Kennedy Center is already en route. It's already been paid for. So I don't know what happens now. I mean, like they're going to put new marble and stuff in.
Yeah. Well, the fixing is going forward. It's just the name that the court stopped.
I thought they fixed I thought they canceled the closing too. You're not allowed to close it.
I don't know.
Yeah, they killed it. They killed the closing.
Yeah.
They didn't say you couldn't fix it. They just said you can't close it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to fix it though.
Well, it's the same thing with the White House. The White House had all this broken tile on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to put up with this stuff. We need to fix this. And so he's fixing the White House, and obviously the ballroom is something that they've needed forever. I mean, you host these leaders from foreign countries and you put them in a tent. I mean,
I know they always put a tent on the ground, in the grounds they have before, and somebody made money on it.
Oh yeah, they make millions.
And that's what's so
tents.
ridiculous about this fight. Well, people are going to make money. Everything ever done there was somebody getting paid.
Yeah,
nobody's doing it for free except Trump's friends.
Yeah. Well, UFC, I think UFC,
Dana White did it for free.
He foot the bill for.
And look how much money he gave. He could have charged tickets.
Yeah.
But they did it on the White House lawn instead, where no ticket charges.
Yeah. And they got the either is it Indy or NASCAR? Which is it Indy going to run at the in DC?
Oh, I don't know. It'd have to be Indy.
Yeah,
not
they're
NASCAR.
having a race there, I think, coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In DC?
Yes.
I had no idea. That would be hilarious.
They've been talking about an Indy race in DC.
Man, I wish I was in DC. I'd like to see all this
We need
stuff.
Edward probably's in the loop. on
He's
it,
probably driving a car.
Yeah. No, someone's driving him.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be the first Indy car with a back seat.
Yeah, but I think it was July or August or something.
Wow, that'd be
like that.
great.
Yeah.
Let me see. Edward sent me an article of the Kennedy Center because we're arguing. A federal judge blocked the Kennedy Center from temporarily closing its doors. Yes.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
During
Right.
proposed renovations, and ruled that the institution board acted unlawfully when it added President Trump's name to the building.
Yeah. The Indy race is August 23rd in DC. Grand Prix. 250 Grand Prix, Washington, DC, Sunday, August 23rd.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, and so who does make money off of that? All the restaurants and the hotels, and so Trump is actually helping out DC and the small businesses, restaurant owners, and all that kind of stuff, because they're going to make on this UFC. I'm sure they made a ton of money.
Oh my God! All the hotels were full.
Yeah, and on the Indy race in August, they're going to make money then. So he is able to bring tons of money into the Washington D.C. economy.
See, it's going to be in Washington D.C. 1.7 miles, 7 turns. Designed with fan accessibility, amazing sight lines, and say, well, yeah, you're going to have Washington Monument
running around the Washington monuments.
That's crazy.
Hey, you took a left at the George Washington Monument.
It's a 0.4 mile front stretch along Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Washington Monument, U.S. Capitol, pit lane area of the track will be adjacent to Pennsylvania Avenue between turns 1 and 2. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard the left complain about that. That's why I've not noticed it.
Oh, they will. They're still complaining about the UFC and other things. They got the 4th of July event coming up there, and so they got to complain about those first before they can get to
the track will go right past Morton's second floor balcony.
Oh, really? So is that where Edward's going to watch from?
I don't know. He
talking about Morton's
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse. Yeah.
Well, he's got ownership in the restaurant, so
yeah.
I'm sure. He said he's going to be driving the bar, so he is not driving the car, which is really good for all of us and the safety of our citizens in DC.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a great place. Get a steak and watch the race.
I'd rather. I think Edward's wife Jackie should drive. I hear she's rather lead-footed.
Oh yeah,
yeah, she could go do that. Yeah, she'd do that. Jackie could.
Yeah, eat a great steak at Morton's and watch the race. Their prices will probably go up during the race, though. But I don't
know. Suggestion for Social Security from one of the listeners: maybe they need to raise the earnings cap and raise the retirement age to 70, which could. The reflecting pool has algae again.
Oh, it does.
I thought I saw something on it that there was some algae that came out when they turned the water on or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
They didn't get it quite cleaned out.
I don't know.
But there are chemicals, obviously, they can throw in to take
Well,
care of that.
if everything's working and it's not,
Yeah.
water's not seeping into the ground and everything.
Right.
I think if they can contain it, I don't know.
Mhm.
I'll follow up on that that algae, but I do think there was something that came up when they first started, but
Yeah.
I don't know why.
As they get closer to summer, of course, and it's not very deep. So
No, it's
you
only a
could-
foot or two.
Yeah, so the water could warm up, and that, of course, will bring on the algae too. So but you really got to move the water, and I don't know how the recirculation on that.
I don't know. I don't know.
What they should have made it in one of those wave parks. They should have made the pool into a wave park. so
Yeah,
you
and then
go out
I'd have
there
got
on
my
a
surfboard out
Yeah.
there. Doesn't reflect when there's a wave, though.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
Can't do that. Ukraine and Russia, as we know, Ukraine's been manufacturing drones, like
Mhm.
changing. I mean, they're kind of like the engineers at Tesla. They're constantly improving.
Yeah.
And
Field
2
is-
years ago, they built a fully autonomous drone and sent out to see how it worked to kill Russians, and it worked well. It killed Russians. The question is this ethical? And the UN has got word of it already, and the UN's called for a ban of such systems.
Is it using like, well, it's obviously
It's
a
gotta have
smart
some-
drone, so it goes out and recognizes.
A person.
Yeah.
I don't know if it can detect that it's Russian. I don't know. I don't know what criteria they put in there, but they sent 10 quadcopters to the front line near Bakhmut, and with instructions to destroy everything they encountered. 2 Russian soldiers were killed. No human in the loop. No, they said just do the job, and they turned it loose. That was a couple years ago. I hadn't heard about it. I guess it doesn't surprise me.
I saw a video clip of a guy, a Russian, hiding around a tower, like
Yeah.
a cell phone tower, and the drone was circling him, trying to go in and out of the tower, trying to go after him. Now, whether that was real or not, but
Well, these guys that are flying the drones, I mean, they've got those guys with those helmets on that are seeing what this drone sees
mhm.
and chasing around. They're supposed to be some of the best in the world now. They're like heavily trained and
Yeah.
and I don't know how they do it, but when they first started with the drones, you had to be close to the front lines, and of course, there was a bounty on the drone people because they were very effective.
Mhm.
So you got a bounty on the drone people. Well, now they can be 1,000 miles away and still have a connectivity that can
Yeah.
that they can actually move the drone around. I don't know how they get past any lag time or
What-
anything. I don't know what they're using.
Some of the drones now actually have fiber optic connectivity.
Well,
'cause
then you
some
got
of-
to be a couple miles at the most.
Yeah, some of the weapon systems,
Yeah.
fire, and they have those
Right.
spools of fiber optic,
Right.
and there's all these fiber optic.
Apparently, people are
laying-
tripping over it. It's
laying-
all over
yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of moving past that with the fiber optic, and I got a thanks to Edward. He sent me a bunch of stuff. I read all his stuff today, but sometimes he sends me so much I can't get to it all. But with all the jamming devices on, and with the drones usually go GPS,
Mhm.
and they look at GPS, and if they lose GPS signal, the old ones they would just get lost, either return to base or fall down, whatever. Now they're teaching it with AI to recognize terrain, recognize where they are by landmarks, and to recognize targets. Like if they're after a specific plane or specific whatever it is,
Mhm.
not only to hit the plane, but to hit a specific place in the plane to where it goes in. Well, articles out there that said the data train is training the AI is assisting the military. Some of it's coming from the Pokemon Go. That's a 2016 reality game that would look at the terrain, but like put pictures of Pokemon in the
I
reality.
remember
Why
that.
you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
So you put the glasses on, you can see Pokemon, even though you see the normal. If you're downtown Yuma, you see downtown Yuma with an animal there that doesn't really exist. but the idea behind this Pokemon Go is to start recognizing terrain where it is, so you know exactly where you are on the planet, where you are, because every look at where the buildings are, the background, the mountains, whatever. And they're saying that they've got these a database of all these people all over the world with the Pokemon Go,
Yeah.
put together, so they've already got all this data of location in there. Now, Pokemon denies you working with them, but
Well, that
I've
was
read
like
reports that say they
30
are.
It was like 30 years ago because my kids did that now.
Pokemon?
And they're in their late 40s.
Well, I
so
guess
it's
where the augmented started in 2016, where it actually
right.
was getting the surrounding area augmented into the game,
hmm
and somehow they were being able to figure out locations based
Yeah,
on all
but
that.
I remember my kids going, "Oh, we got to go down there because there's this and there's that."
Yeah. Well, if they get all that information, it won't even matter that they lose GPS. They're going to be looking like you and I would look. And when I learned to fly airplanes,
Yeah.
we used GPS. We used all those we used different navigational systems, but then we also had to just turn it all off and go by the maps and look at landmarks. And that's basically what they're teaching this
Mhm.
is landmarks.
Yeah.
And if you look at an aircraft map, it always has the topography, so you can see mountain ranges and everything and tell where you are according to landmarks.
Yeah.
Well, they're teaching the drones to do the same thing, so you're not going to have to have a GPS working because everybody's jamming GPSs
Yeah.
in these battlefields.
Right.
That's one of the first things they do is and jam so you don't have control anymore, because a lot of these drones are flying with the pilot miles away, but they have to have a signal
Mhm.
to be able to do that. And so with all the jams, are trying to get around it all.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing. And I don't know how Ukraine's doing it. It doesn't say it's using SpaceX, but possibly is. I know Ukraine does use
To
SpaceX.
control. Yeah.
Starlink.
Ground stations. Yeah.
Starlink stuff. But I don't know if that's how they're doing their AI flights without being on site.
Yeah.
But they're changing this technology so fast. They're not gonna need the internet.
hmm
They're just gonna be set free on a mission with topography maps.
Yeah.
And know what the target looks like and where they are. And
Like,
you're not gonna be able to jam it or
Right.
stop it.
keep going back to my car. So now my Tesla has a neural net. The car is interconnected with a neural net, and I believe now it starts to learn.
It's gonna know more than you, shortly.
Yeah, it does. It learns, and now
Yeah.
my car will drive into the driveway now.
But you say that you get updates on the software all the time.
Yeah,
But
I'm getting 2 or 3 a week
But-
right now.
But Tesla is gathering information from all the cars on the road.
Yep.
So they're probably, a little something to learn. Let's tell Greg's car.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Well, and and I've gone in there a couple of times now, and some people think this is bad, and maybe it is, but it knows who I am now, and it knows my background, and
Yeah.
that I was Desert Storm vet,
Kinda like,
and all that stuff. It already knows that. I don't have to tell it anything about that. It already has that for background.
Yeah. And it probably knows you're a bad driver, so it needs to caution you sooner or something.
Yeah, and it told me don't let Russ drive
Oh, is that what it
my
said?
car again. Yeah, he almost piled me up last time.
Well, it was fast.
One of the other technologies that and they were pushing it at this UFC fighting was these Meta glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna whatever Zuckerberg, I guess that's Zuckerberg, they're gonna give a free pair away to all blind veterans.
I saw a little bit on that, and it showed something about the blind veteran and had it like he was asking for the shirt, give me the blue one.
Yeah.
And it's okay, that's it.
Yeah,
That's the blue one.
menu and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
read things for him and read it to him.
Yeah, and apparently it helps for those that are hard of hearing too. I was listening to a commercial today. I gotta look at those for my mom.
But that's unfair, because then you won't know if he's blind.
Well, I know. My mom's 98 and she's starting to lose her hearing, and she has macular degeneration and stuff, and
Ouch.
she's having a hard time reading menus and stuff like that. And they're relatively cheap, like $3.99 to $4.79.
Seriously?
Yeah, so they're not much more than a regular prescription glasses, and you can put prescriptions in them.
Right.
You know, so
The
you
lens.
got prescription lenses, but then you also have the augment of hearing, you know, and sight.
Edward wears those. In fact, quite often he's listening to the show. He's out jogging with those glasses on, and he sends me messages. He doesn't have to stop.
Well, I'd be interested if they would help my mom, and obviously
Probably.
I'm thinking they would.
Probably.
You know, Edward say if they thought they would help, because my mom still gets around.
They came out with those like a decade or so ago with Microsoft, and they looked very distinct. You could tell they were those. You know, they didn't try to hide them.
Right.
And it was one of those things where it had facial recognition in it, and you could walk down the street and see everybody's name. And there were bars that were banning them, and so you're not allowed in this bar with that and everything, you know. But you'd never forget anybody's name that way.
Yeah. And I wonder if the glasses, if they have like bone transducers in the bows, so it goes in your bones rather than through.
I would imagine that wouldn't be hard to do for them.
Yeah.
I mean, that technology is pretty prolific.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to look at those.
Yeah. Take care of your mom.
Yep. Absolutely.
U.S. is planning to cut NATO now. On the NATO, we supply a lot for NATO, and I guess I don't know exactly how it all works, but obviously we have like 60,000 troops in Europe stationed there, and that's not considered NATO so much. I mean, we defend Germany, we're in there for that and all that stuff. But this is talking about the aircraft that are specifically assigned to NATO operations. And the U.S. is planning to cutting the number of the F-16s and F-15E fighter jets. Currently, we have 150 of those aircraft assigned to NATO. We're going to cut it to 100. They're going to reduce maritime reconnaissance aircraft from 26 to 15, and removing all 8 aerial refueling tankers, you know, the jets.
I don't know if that's such a good idea, because those you want those pre-positioned, but
but they probably still are for our guys,
mm-hmm.
but they're not doing it for NATO anymore.
Oh, okay.
These are just the ones that are assigned to NATO.
Yeah.
I would imagine that we still have our military bases still have everything they need.
Yeah.
But they're not yours. They're not NATO's. They're ours.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of interesting as you look at like what Stormer is obviously on the outs in the UK, but UK really disappointed us. They wouldn't let us fly out of their bases, and Germany. And I think the push should be to go towards Poland, who is a strong military nation.
Oh, they're serious. They're spending more than anybody as a percentage of GDP.
And, you know, I know they want us there. And so, I mean, 60,000 troops is a huge boost to anybody's economy. And so we're pouring millions and millions into, you know, Germany's economy and all that kind of stuff. And I would rather, if we're going to have forward deployed troops, put them in Poland, the country that supports us.
I think it'd be a good time. You don't really even hear any Polak jokes anymore.
No, I don't.
Where'd those go? They just went away.
Yeah.
I guess
blonde jokes, but
blonde jokes are okay.
Yeah.
Polak jokes went away.
DEI did away with Polak jokes.
Did they?
I don't know.
They didn't do away with bashing white supremacy.
No,
they're still allowed to do that.
Yeah. I think now everybody's just underneath the white supremacy.
It was fun watching the Southern Poverty Law Center take, a grilling from the Congress, and they were asking questions like, "Well, you wrote that all of MAGA is white supremacist. Do you think everyone's a white supremacist?" I refuse to answer that question. You know.
Yeah. Well, they had
when you say this stuff out loud, they write some horrible stuff.
Yeah.
They don't like it being thrown back at them that, hey, you wrote this. They don't want to hear it. It's cringeworthy.
Over the last decade plus, they've really lost their way. And the things that they were funding, and it wasn't just like informant. It was way, way beyond that. They're actually like paying for hoods and crosses and funding one of the Grand Dragons. And it's Yeah, it's
I
just
know.
another scam to scam people out of money.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And apparently by them funding some of these hate groups, people in the hate groups,
Mhm.
it caused their contributions to really go up because the hate groups became more visible.
Tripled. Yep.
And well, we need the Southern Party Law Center to stop this. And they're the ones that were keeping them alive.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like the KKK had died out, but they had to try to see what they could do to bring them back so they could make more money.
Edward just sent me 45 of the best Polish jokes and memes, which I'm not going to read because I'm not a racist. But when I was a kid, there was always Polish jokes.
Yeah, there was.
I don't know where that came from or why. On NATO, and I didn't mention, but other than the aircraft, they're also going to redeploy missile launching submarine. I guess it was assigned to NATO, and an aircraft carrier. We assigned an aircraft carrier to NATO.
We have 11. They're putting in AOR's area of responsibility, and there's 11, and so many have to be out while the others are in port.
I was reading that this morning actually about the 11. They want to retire the Nimitz, but they're not allowed to
because the next carrier production is running behind.
Right. It's the Kennedy,
yeah,
which won't be. It's now scheduled to come out next year, and so they got to hang on the Nimitz, hang on to it, even though it's not combat ready.
I think that's an arbitrary statement.
Well, that's the way they put it. They don't have it ready for arm. Probably no planes on it. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Russ.
Good morning, sir.
To the other gentleman, I can't remember what his name
Greg
was.
Wilkinson.
Greg Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, get that back on the air.
We'll be back.
I hate it on the internet. That you can't even close your phone down and still listening to it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But we're working on it. It'll be done this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I heard Derek is getting close.
He is.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what I was calling about, the Democrats are calling us Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to call a spade a spade. Just flat out call them communists and kick it right back in their face.
I don't think they mind that, though.
Well, if they don't mind it, call it to them. Every time
Okay.
one of those suckers open their pie hole.
I mean, I don't think you're going to
You
make Mandani cry if you call him a communist.
Well, Mandani's not a communist.
Well, he calls himself a socialist, I guess, but it's not far.
Yeah, well, that's not and that's, you got to remember that the Muslims' faith is not communism. It's something else.
Yeah. Well, he
But,
identifies as a democratic socialist. Pretty proud. Yeah.
Democrat idiot, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think the policies are wrong. Yeah, I'm going to cause us problems.
Well, they're already up in arms in New York City. I had a friend of mine that lives back there, and he says there's a revolt started in New York. That they were fed a line of goods, and the line of goods can be removed.
I don't think they're ready to give up on it, though. And look, you got the same thing in Virginia with the governor, although she came in as a centrist and ends up being a socialist. And you got other socialists running very proudly on the ticket, and the Democrats are embracing it.
Well, the Democrats are, but the only way they're embracing it is because they're padding the ballot box.
Well, I think they're embracing it publicly, though, which is kind of neat.
Well, it's high time that Trump starts taking away the extra funding for all their extra crap they need for their stupidity.
Yeah.
They start taking the dinero away from them, and they, you hit them in the pocketbook, period. You want to be that way, we'll take your money away. We're not going to give you any.
That's happening in some states with the fraud stuff that they're going after, like in Minnesota and California. And and they're not going to change their ways. They're just complaining about it, saying you're starving children because you took away our fraud money.
Oh, BS.
Yeah.
But anyhow, no, they just start calling them as they are. They're communists, and I had Because I told him to his face, I said, you're just, you're so stupid to believe what these knuckleheads are telling you. You're turning into a freaking communist. And he looked at me and I says, hey, don't talk to me no more. I don't want nothing more to do with you. You're American citizen. As far as I'm concerned, you can get on a plane and go to wherever you want to, but don't come see me anymore because our friendship is null and void because you're stupid.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
There's other people who've told him the same thing.
oh, okay.
So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Not the only one, because he goes out and he starts preaching this stuff to other people that were his friends. And we used to work with this guy. He was a nice guy when we were working with him.
Uh-huh.
But boy, I'll tell you what, you talk about the turning the light switch on and off. This guy has just gone off the edge.
We'll send him in here. We'll talk to him. We'll figure out what he wants to get done.
Oh,
I like that.
hey, Russ,
Yeah.
walk outside and find the biggest rock you can,
Uh-huh.
put it on your desk, and that's about as much as you're going to get to because
Yeah.
he's dumber than a box of rocks.
I have found that a lot of the socialists, communists, or Democrats or whatever, they really don't want to talk because when you say some of their stuff out loud, it just doesn't sound good. But in their minds, it's good until you start saying it out loud.
Well, you're hurting their feelings, Russ. You know that, don't you?
I don't try to hurt their feelings. I don't.
I do.
But you start.
I tell them like it is. I feel like Trump.
Their policies just don't work out loud. It doesn't work, man. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I just thought I should call it as it is right now.
I appreciate it. Take care.
It was interesting that when they had, I don't know if you saw some of the Act Blue hearings.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, all he did was take the fifth. They even asked, okay,
every single one.
How do you say your name? On advice of the council.
Yeah, they won't even talk. And that's and they were there because there's so much records of foreign money coming in to support these Democrat candidates, and they won't talk about it. And some of the internal memos and everything else that are going on, and they won't talk about it. Yeah. We don't want to talk. Yeah, they're hiding everything. Yeah, which is not good. Not good. Although it's good to get it out there, and it's hilarious to watch because they don't look good. But I don't know how it looks to other Democrats and stuff. I don't think they mind. They don't watch it or they turn it off or they think, well, that's just political garbage or what. I don't know what they think. Like we showed them, we didn't talk to them.
Yeah, and I think people need to understand what the Fifth Amendment. Basically, what you're saying is, I don't want to say anything because I have the right not to incriminate myself because I know I'm a criminal, and if I say something, I'm going to incriminate myself. So just taking the fifth,
I'm going to say yes, but any court of law will say that the fifth is not an admission of guilt.
And yes,
I mean, we may think differently, but it's not really an admission of guilt.
I understand that's a definition.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of why you take the fifth is because you're going to say something that could
right. You don't have to.
You
don't have to testify against yourself. You don't have to do all that. Yeah.
And so just the act of taking the fifth is incriminating in my mind, not in a court of law, but in my mind, that is an act of incrimination.
I wonder if the Democrats do that more than the Republicans.
Well, I don't know. Just the Act Blue took the fifth.
That's all they did.
Every question. I think, I didn't see any Democrats. I don't know if any Democrats even actually attended the meeting.
Edward's still very busy this morning. He says the National Association of Rocks has asked people to stop comparing them to Democrats. So, that's it. You got to be careful what you say. Yeah. He also mentions about his wife being an IndyCar driver, and apparently it would be unfair to the IndyCar driver. So she apparently is more of a lead foot than I thought. She's more of a race car guy. Good for Jackie. Good for Jackie. You heard that the Venezuela Trinidad gang leader didn't do well when they bombed his building.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth did that.
Yeah.
Not personally.
Joint mission between the Venezuelan military and the U.S. military.
Yeah. U.S. forces were helpful, and they killed this Hector Rustenford Guerrero Flores, called Nino Guerrero.
Yeah.
The leader of the Venezuela prison gang. They have a prison gang. That's separate. That's a separate compartment, I guess. The prison gang is separate from the on the street gang.
I know they run a lot of their operations out of the prison system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of this article talks about their activities mostly outside the United States, South America, and all over there, Europe, all over the place. I mean, they've spread all over. Trump writes, at my direction, the United States Southern Command delivered a swift and lethal kinetic strike to successfully execute Nino Guerrero, the infamous leader of Tren de Agua, one of the most bloodthirsty terrorist organizations on the planet. This action was coordinated closely with our friends in Venezuela, with whom we are working very well.
500-pounder doesn't go good with bacon.
Is that what it was, you think?
Yeah,
I mean, I saw the building, it just kind of turned into
probably.
dust.
It's more, I mean, it's pretty standard 500-pounders with, some GPS guidance and stuff on it. It was probably,
Yeah, I don't think anybody did well. That building just completely doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
See, during the operation, there were clashes with members of criminal groups in which the leader, Guerrero, was neutralized. The operation involved specialized technological support and was carried out through cooperation and intelligence sharing between authorities of both countries. The ministry said, that's what the ministry said, the Trump administration has repeatedly targeted Guerrero and other leaders of the Tren de Agua organization with sanctions over allegedly involvement in criminal activities such as illicit drug smuggling, human trafficking, and money laundering. And we know the State Department designated them a terrorist organization. Of course, that was under Trump.
Yeah.
In fact, there were some that were Trump had done during his first term, and Biden took it off.
Yes.
You're just misunderstood. You're not terrorists.
Yeah.
Trump claimed that Tren de Agua coordinated its U.S. activities with the Venezuelan government of President Nicolas Maduro, and that's the reason that he's now in prison.
Yep.
Maduro is.
And I'm hoping Maduro is singing like crazy. Maybe that's how they got this target.
Maybe.
Who
knows? But they're known for human trafficking, control routes taken by Venezuelans, other American migrants heading south to relatively prosperous Chile, as well as destinations in South America, Europe, for extortion, kidnapping, money laundering, contract killing, smuggling, organized retail theft from Panama to Brazil. Along the Adrian border, Latin America, I guess they covered all.
Get it all.
It's an international business. They're really doing well. Guerrero had escaped from the prison in Venezuela along with gang leaders just before the police raid in 2023. So I guess he had good intelligence.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys do. No, you got to get going, Greg.
Yeah, it's in a minute.
You got a few minutes,
and I'm hoping that Scott Bissent, is that right? Did I say that right? He's
judge?
going. Secretary.
Yeah.
Going after all these different accounts, Iranian accounts and all that kind of stuff, grabbing money and giving it to these countries that have been damaged in this war damage to help them rebuild.
Secretary of the Treasury, it's Besson.
Yeah, Besson. Yeah. So, and I'm hoping he. I hope
he's been very effective.
Yeah, he is.
In fact, we've had sanctions against a lot of these countries and people before, but he found new ways to get the money they were working, the workarounds, like Bitcoins and stuff.
Yeah, and all these IRGC members just take their money and give it to these countries that they've damaged.
Yeah,
help Israel rebuild the buildings and their military and. UAE, Kuwait, and all of them.
He's a guy that didn't need a job.
Well, a lot of his cabinets didn't.
They're like billionaires all in their own right.
Yeah, they all took humongous pay cuts.
Yeah, to come help the country.
Exactly.
But for the country to be healthy, their businesses are more healthy.
That's true.
And that's indirect. It's not a direct.
Yeah.
But it gives other opportunity. Except, I don't know if you noticed when Musk became a trillionaire, all the politicians, everything came forward, and like Elizabeth Warren was one of the worst. She went right on air saying it's horrible. Nobody should have that much money and all that. Yep. And she's riding around in a chauffeur-driven car, complaining about the trillionaire. Nobody should have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And what did they say about he kills people for it? He killed kids or someone?
Yeah.
Where's that come from? Is that?
I don't know. Unless because he's spending money to go to space when he should be spending money on
kids.
Yeah, put into these NGOs. So the
Yeah, no, it was really
fraud.
explained. I don't think anyone's ever accused him of having like a building, making tennis shoes in a sweatshop with kids or something.
No. Well, he pays his people pretty well, and
Oh
obviously,
yeah, a lot of them are millionaires now, billionaires.
I heard Edward said 2,800. I heard 4,400.
Yeah, I heard like it was gonna be 4,000,
Yeah,
but that was a
but
speculation
like
thing, wasn't it?
custodians and
Yeah.
this guy was a welder and ended up making $880,000 on this. And,
Yeah.
They're trying to go month to month, and all of a sudden it's like,
You know who else hates Elon? We could get a list of haters. Unions.
yeah,
They've never been able to unionize him, so they call him all kinds of names. Whatever, fascist, racist, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't like unions because they do better without the union.
yes. Well, and and the biggest thing, and unions do some good things,
They
and
used
they
to.
do some bad things, but the biggest thing is if you pay your employees what they're worth, there's no really reason to have a union.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
One thing about Scott Bessent, since you mentioned it, Trump put him on to do all this stuff,
Mhm.
because he's a transphobe, Trump is, but Scott Bessent's the first openly gay Treasury Secretary in U.S.
Right.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it doesn't matter. In fact, he's openly gay, but nobody really thinks about or knows about it because he talks about policy.
Right. People just don't care.
Yeah,
They care about
it doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah.
he talks about policy.
Yeah.
It's not about his DEI.
Right.
He's a brilliant hedge fund manager.
Yeah, that's where all this stuff breaks down with the Democrats is
Yeah.
it doesn't. There's a difference between somebody that's in their 20s or 30s or something, and they want to be openly gay and do this and do that. There's a big difference between and what they are doing with children. To me, children
my.
are off limits. These drag queen shows for elementary schools and things that they're doing. Those are just not right.
Right. And that whole time we were going through where somebody makes this claim that this is now my lifestyle and you must participate in it by calling me this or by recognizing, changing pronouns, whatever it is. That is so horrible. Like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, and I'll go back to when we had a Republican meeting. It's I guess over not 3 years ago, and we had two teachers came in, and the district was supporting. They had four children that were undergoing sex change.
Wow, that's so
and
sad.
they're 9, 10, 11 years old, and they left, and they were gone for like a week. They sent them up to Phoenix or something, injected them with a bunch of garbage, hormones and stuff like that, and they came back in the classroom, and the teachers are like, they were totally disconnected. They were pouring sweat on their desks, and the teachers were almost crying because there was nothing that they could do for these kids.
They're ruining these kids.
Yeah. And, it was one school, and there were 4 students that were doing this. I don't know. I guess when you have a 9, 10, 11-year-old, this forced transition, injecting them full of hormones, and some of that stuff is life altering.
Oh, and they said you'll kill kids if you don't do it.
Yeah.
It's been the opposite.
It's the opposite. And, it's like I said before, and it's like, oh, this is not going to happen in Yuma. And then we have two teachers come forward and say, yeah, they just took 4 of my students out, and they wouldn't allow them to do the surgery until they were 12. So they were under 12. So they did it with the hormones and the injections. And it made me sick.
I'm so saddened about that.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, it's 8:30. I promise I'd let you go.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Thanks,
AM
Russ.
560. Russ Clark back with you. And it's Mortgage One Studios. It's not AM 560. That's how I left anyway. AM 560. It's a habit. Can't quite break it. Phone lines are open 928 941 0304. At least I think I got that right. Navy's going to reevaluate religious accommodations for facial hair. Yeah, you see that a lot in the Navy. Facial hair. I mean, you, I guess, can get a pastor or somebody say he can't cut his beard, but they're gonna take another look at it because they want to determine whether the religious waivers to grow facial hair, if it that doesn't adhere to military grooming standards on what they should do and not do. It's a reevaluation. Applies to all active and reserve sailors with approved or pending religious accommodations for waivers allowing facial hairstyles, as well as those looking to revisit requests for waivers that were denied previously and no submitting their first request. I know during COVID there was a lot of requests, religious requests to not get the jab, the shot, and all that. And they were just routinely ignored, denied, and no, just couldn't get it. So I don't know what that's going to be reevaluated as. Let's talk to Sandy. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. I've heard your show in and out because I've got to get stuff done. It's so yucky, the weather.
Oh yeah, it is.
But I wondered if you guys saw the videos of the floats and our military guys marching along them. I think I sent you a video of it.
You did, but I haven't.
They were just beautiful floats.
I have
there
not.
Was a live.
Yet. No.
There was a live one too. Now in the shorter one I sent you, they showed fireworks and stuff too, and everybody in the comments loved it. One person said this is AI, and I thought, I hope not. Just gorgeous, gorgeous floats. And the people that were there watching it were so appreciative, so nice. I just love I love nice people. I just really do.
And we've
it
had a
was
lot
just-
of them. And talking to the people that went to the 200 the fights on the White House lawn, Edward called in and he said it was just everybody was
I
wonderful.
got to hear that.
Everybody was wonderful. Everybody was patient. There was no problems.
I thought I wasn't going to see anything because I don't have Paramount Plus or whatever it is. But this guy, Mago News, I think I got that wrong. I can't remember how he spells it, but I didn't get to see like a lot of the fighting. But I have to be honest with you, that's not my forte. But I don't care because I like sports because I think it's healthier for people to be active. And I think it encourages that. Just like there was so much going on with the Flag Day celebration that President Trump had going on, and with all the soccer matches, that a lot of people didn't notice that the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. And I'm not a big hockey fan, but again, I don't care. I think it's great that there's people watching it, people that play it. I'm very supportive of sports, and if you're an older person, careful exercise. But so that I wanted to make sure and say that. And I don't have any team that I prefer or anything like that. But I just thought yesterday was such a good day. It was so beautiful.
Yeah. And we got more of it
anyway.
Coming. He's got so much more coming. I mean, this celebration is going to be going on for weeks.
Right. And I'm ashamed of some of the singers that bowed out of the July 4th thing. I'm ashamed of them. It's I won't be supporting any of those people.
Yeah.
So I don't really go out and buy stuff anyway. If I hear, I listen on YouTube, so I'm not going out. So I guess I don't really matter to them. No. But once you make a promise to do something, you need to keep it. And I guess the guy that did the sang the national anthem at the event yesterday with President Trump, the left, which are bullies, mean people, I don't like them anymore at all.
Yeah.
They were bullying him to get him to back out. He said, "No, I'm doing this." And I just like, if people would understand that is not good, and that envy and jealousy are mental disorders. These guys are mentally sick. Get away from them. They're not good for you. Have fun and enjoy, just like the people watching the soccer matches. And you guys mentioned this, the foreigners that are going around the country. There was one guy who went to different barbecues in different states, and he loves barbecue now, so I don't know his name, but they were just talking about him, and I just think it's really good. Inviting the people outside the country, we're glad you're here, that kind of stuff, really good. So anyway, that's my hopefully positive story. The floats just looked gorgeous, and again, I hope it wasn't AI. So maybe, people can tell us afterwards if I was fooled. I don't care. I had a fun time watching. If it was live, I don't see how it could have been. But anyway, I'll let you guys go.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
You have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
That's Sandy having a great day. I looked up the algae in Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool. One day after it refilled, it had some algae in it. And after weeks of construction and painting, the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool was reopened. About $14 million for the project, because there was a lot of work done other than just the pool. I mean, all the around it and everything. Resurfacing the base and the pool and layers of American flag. However, just a day after the pool was filled, it had been seen skimming green algae from the water. Let me see. They say it was residual. I don't know, residual from what? Doesn't really say. Quickly spotted it as soon as it was refilled. So it didn't grow. I guess it came in when they released the water somehow. It quickly spotted the site skimming, newly resurfaced right away. What you're seeing is residual algae from the supply line. So it came in from the supply lines. They were sitting dormant for 8 weeks when the construction was taking place. So I guess the lines were filled with algae. So when they turn the water on, they come in. It's part of the startup process, according to the people working on it. We're removing the algae, and the nano bubblers will maintain the pool but keep algae free. So it has nano bubblers in it. Now you can't have the water moving too much; it won't be reflective. Or maybe they just do it at certain times. It's got to have filtration, chemical treatment. The algae's here to stay. So it came out of the lines when they filled it, which makes sense, I guess. I was wondering how it got algae in one day. It doesn't work that fast, but it certainly was there. Okay, so that explains that. But one of my listeners put algae, and I remember seeing something about it. It just didn't register with me. I didn't think to talk about it. Oh, oil prices are below $80, by the way, a barrel. At the gas pumps this morning, I paid $4.35, which was lower. But there's prices. I checked the prices this morning. In Yuma, I found it for $4.09 at that's Gas Buddy. 409 in Yuma. So it's come down. That's the Arco. Well, it says 407 now. It's 409 this morning. 407. Sam's Club's 409. Love's 419. So it has come down. It was getting up to 460 or so at one time. So it's getting better. So I wonder what the average gas price is in the United States. And it's not supposed to go down that fast, actually, because it takes a while to get into the system. $4.06 the national gas price average, I guess, according to AAA. I don't know how current that is. Well, here's an article that's real current. It says it's dropped below $4 a gallon for the first time. It's $3.99 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy, as of this morning. Average. And so it's been falling. And apparently diesel has fell even more than that. It's fallen 91 cents. It fell 91 cents a gallon. I don't know what it is. So the oil markets are below 80, from what I understand. I got that from Edward a little while ago. That they're below 80. And that's kind of an amazing, really fast. So let me ask you, I mean, is the left happy with that? Are they going to be happy with that? I mean, that it's going to be below, that the prices are coming down. Now I got 3.98 cents a gallon. Highest record average was $5.03 just a few days ago. And it's coming down. And the lowest recorded average was back in 2008 when it was $1.60. We'll see where it goes. If it continues to go down, it should. We started talking about the Navy reevaluating facial hair. The Defense Department says commanding officers must objectively weigh the fundamental value of accommodating religious practices against the compelling life or death interests of maintaining an absolute positive posture and ensuring the operational viability of our fleet. All sailors with approved or pending religious waiver requests have to resubmit those same requests now the military is revising policies. Of course, if you're in a position that the facial hair is going to cause you to be not safe, I guess they have to put you in a different job. Not all jobs, and if you're doing fire brigades, and I was on a fire brigade once, we had to put on those masks. I forget what they called, but they have to seal to your face. You can't do it with a beard. You can't do it with facial hair. But yet I mean, I don't know. Do you see facial hair on firemen? I don't know. But it's good that Trump is redoing it, and it's going to be reviewed by chaplains, and there's going to be religious accommodations, unlike when Biden was in. But it's going to be reasonable, and I'll be curious to see what they come up with. Peaks Hegseth had a disagreement with Margaret Brennan with CBS. As a disagreement about whether or not the U.S. weapon stockpiles are dangerously low. It just seems kind of silly. Now, Pete Hegseth has all the information on where the stockpiles are and everything like that, and a lot of that's just secret, and it has to be. You can't share. Margaret Brennan is a commentator, Face the Nation, CBS. She doesn't have it, but yet they argue. I guess she claimed the U.S. is not. He claims the U.S. is not facing a shortage of U.S. weapon stockpiles, despite testifying before Congress that it could take months or years to rebuild reserves of certain weaponry. The back and forth between Brennan, and that's where it goes on. Hegseth, I guess, didn't directly answer questions, and he just said America's stockpiles are great and only getting stronger. I guess he can't give numbers. Brennan says a crisis with those stockpiles right now in private industry, that a manufacturer story that the media wants to peddle, according to Hegseth. It's just it's a story. And Brennan said, Hegseth, that you testified before Congress that it would take months and years to rebuild military stockpiles, depending on the specific weapon in question. Hegseth said, you don't have to read back to me what I testified. I speculate some munitions take more time than others. We've got lots of them. We're building more than ever before. The Biden administration gave away hundreds of billions to Ukraine. And so President Trump had to refill, and he has. The Center for Strategic and International Studies found that the U.S. forces used large shares of several critical munitions during the air and missile campaign against Iran, including more than 850 Tomahawk cruise missiles and more than 1,000 joint air-to-surface standoff missiles. Patriot interceptors was estimated between roughly 1,060 and 1,400 missiles, more than half of the U.S. pre-war inventory. Exact U.S. munition stockpiles are classified, and the figures in the report are estimates delivered from the Pentagon budget documents, historical procurement data, and reported battlefield usage. Even before the Iran war, U.S. stockpiles of key precision munitions are considered insufficient for a large-scale conflict with a peer adversary such as China. The latest drawdowns have made that gap more acute. And I don't know who's writing all this stuff down. This is based on the reports that the public sees. It's got to be private. And do you trust the government? To an extent, and I would trust it much more under Trump's administration than I would under Biden's. Hegseth says the munitions issue has been foolishly and unhelpfully overstated. We have the munitions needed to execute what we need to execute. And during the they can spool things up if they need to. World War II, we didn't have a lot. We spooled it up pretty quickly and started building things quickly. I guess I trust who's at the helm right now. So I'm not too worried about it myself. I trust her taking care of it, and they will procure it if it needs to be done. We've got the capabilities, I'm quite sure. You heard about the airplane crash where 12 people were killed? I just wanted to cover that real quick. I didn't really know what it was when I saw it yesterday. I saw 12 people killed, and I didn't really look into it to see what it was. It was a skydiving aircraft, which I've been on those before, and I've jumped out of planes. Not my favorite thing to do. I'm not a big fan. It's just a lot of fast air. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't scare me, but I'd rather be flying the plane than jumping out of it. 11 of the victims were skydivers of the 12, and one was the pilot. It happened just 65 miles south of Kansas City. The plane was engulfed in flames after the crash. Emergency responders were able to extinguish it very quickly. It was a Pacific Aerospace P-750. It was departing to Butler Memorial Airport in Missouri around 11:35 a.m. local time. And that happened yesterday on Sunday. The FAA said air traffic services were not being provided at the time, which is very common. A lot of small airports, they don't need air traffic services. Planes talk to each other. 12 people were on board. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board will investigate. The safety board will lead the investigations. And here's what they say happened that they know about. A private plane departing the airport turned around for an unknown reason. The reason it's unknown is they weren't talking to anybody, probably. If you're at a controlled airport with air traffic controllers, you would state your intentions all the time. And you should at a private one. Anytime you do anything at a private one, you're supposed to state your intentions, whatever you're doing flying around, and it just goes to general traffic in the area in case somebody's out there. But apparently, either he didn't do it or no one picked up on it, and it crashed. Well, a plane that turns around like that, and when I was taking my pilot's license and all that, and we discussed things to not do, and this happens more than we'd like to think. But a plane taking off gets into some trouble, like an engine failure or an engine stops working properly. Yeah, the instinct for the pilot is, well, I'm right close to the airport. It's just right behind me. I'll just turn around. It usually ends in really bad things. Because when you turn an airplane, you tilt the wings, and then of course you take away a lot of your lift when you do that. And you're going slow when you first take off. You're starting to climb, but you keep the wings level. You get the most lift out of it. You turn it sideways, you lose a percentage, and you usually go slower. Then it slows it down, and you just fall out of the sky. That's what Dennis Jacobs thinks happened to this one. He's the acting airport manager and director of the Bates County Emergency Management Agency. He said it had just taken off, made a left turn. In my opinion, I think it was losing power, and he was trying to make it over to the highway and land. And he stalled and went down, nose first, and caught fire. Yeah, it sounds like a stall. And that's what happens in a stall. The nose goes down. That's where the engine is. That's the heavy part. And usually that's very helpful when you're at altitude. When you're at altitude, you want the nose to go down. That's a good thing, because then you pick up a little airspeed and then your wing starts flying again. You pull it right back up. If you're close to the ground, that doesn't happen. You don't have enough time or enough space. Sounds like a rookie mistake that killed a lot of people. And I've been told many times, by trainers, you're better off going straight. Don't turn your aircraft because you don't have the airspeed or the altitude to manage a successful turn. You just don't. Happens time and time again, though. Sheriff's County Office, we are treating that as a national or a mass casualty. We want to be very clear. This is not a commercial airliner that has crashed. It's a local airplane that took off from our local airport. The aircraft was carrying passengers. They were ready for jumping out of the airplane. A lot of tandem skydive. Tandem means you're two people at a time. You're tied to an experienced, you're hooked or fastened to an experienced jumper. Usually for new people, trainees, or somebody just wants to experience it. And of course, because it's tandem, there were a lot of family members out there to watch to see somebody they care about take their first skydive or a relatively new whatever. So many of these family members were witnessed the crash, unfortunately. So they were right there. It's a single engine turbo prop manufactured in 2020. So it was not an old beat up plane or anything. Uh, and I'm not familiar with the aircraft. Aerospace P750. I don't know what it looks like. It's a single engine turbo. And apparently it's widely used for skydiving operations. Carry a lot of, the turboprop can carry a lot of weight, and apparently it's easy to jump out of. Maybe that's unfortunate. Sad to hear about that. Let's mention this briefly. JD Vance is going on The View again, and I think it's wonderful. I think JD Vance handles himself, and is it a hostile crowd? Yeah, of course it is. It's a hostile crowd, and they're all going to be there. All 6 co-hosts. See, I don't think it even put the date on June 16th. I'm sorry, June 16th. What is today? 15th. It's tomorrow. It's going to be on tomorrow. So I'm sure the ratings for The View will go up. People will be wanting to go. I'll get my popcorn and sit down and watch it. All 6 co-hosts are going to be there. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sonny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and Anna Navarro. All of them. Here's a little history on The View. In 2025, they had 341 guests. Out of 341, 2 of them were conservative. Wow, good for them to have 2. Some are 0. 128 were liberal. I don't know what the others were. Non-defined, probably liberal. They have a long history, the host, long history of bashing J.D. Vance since the day he was even announced. In July of 2024, Joy Behar said, "This is a very good choice for the Democrats. This is a good news for the Democrats, in my opinion." And that's right after he was picked. Because he said Vance is a carbon copy of Trump who would fail to bring in any new voters. Sonny Houston said that Trump picked Vance because of Project 2025. We haven't heard about that since. Project 2025 was some conservative wish list or something, had nothing to do with Trump, but that doesn't stop them. Because he knows that he's the vice president, will do things that Mike Pence would not. I really do believe that. He's an election denier. He has not committed to accepting the results of this year's election. Anna Navarro suggested that Governor Tim Walz should use the debate, and this was the debate against the vice president's candidates, to humiliate Vance as some sort of political shapeshifter. What Tim Walz needs to do is reveal J.D. Vance for who he is, a coward, duplicit, hypocritical, opportunist who remains silent while Trump attacks Kamala Harris for being biracial, even though his children are biracial. Who remains silent while Trump supporters issue attacks on Kamala Harris for being Indian descent, for being South Asian, even though he's married to an Indian woman, which is all just ridiculous. But that's who they are. Said, could there be anything more disgusting than a man who remains silent because he is willing to be anything and say anything in order to get elected? And I hope he reminds him of when he called Donald Trump a American's Hitler. Remember that, JD? They also go after his wife, Usha Vance. Houston said Usha and Vice President J.D. Vance values did not align. Vance once saying that he hoped Usha, who is Hindi, would come to see and believe in the Christian gospel. And that she's sitting there. She's, married to the vice president. She was a Democrat in 2014. She's pregnant now. But I will say that it just couldn't be me. It wouldn't be me. I think our country is in an existential crisis. This is not a game. I think your values need to align, especially at times like this. And some things are deal breakers. I'd be curious how it goes. And I honestly have great things to say about Vance for doing it. Absolutely. Go into the pit. Go right in there. I think you got nothing to lose. He can handle himself. The girls are not going to scare him. He'll be just fine. So congratulations to Vance for doing it. I got to sign off. I'm done. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Mortgage One Studios. I'm Russ Clark.